local experts and one-stop shop for convenience. They'll take the time to give you the customer service the big box stores lack so you can get the job done right. Running short on time? Just go to ThibodeauStore.com and place your order for anything, including now Cajun cookware. Pick it up when you're ready, or you can have it delivered right to your doorstep. How's that for service? Top-notch tools and expert advice. Local service. The Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux.
Picture your dream bathroom. Got it? How about making it happen with David Duvall and One Bath & Closets? For more than 3 decades, David's been remodeling homes with a concentration on the most popular room in your home, your bathroom. Whether it's a tub-to-shower conversion or a complete renovation, the great thing about One Bath & Closets is that David handles everything. One company, one contractor, One Bath & Closets. Check out the gallery of his most recent projects and schedule your free in-home consultation online at onebathandclosets.com. That's onebathandclosets.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Wednesday, May 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 91. In hour one of today's show, we'll talk LSU baseball in the SEC tournament. We'll talk some LSU football news as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now. Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Alontra, and Tay hanging out with you this morning. What a day yesterday, dude. So the game starts at 9:30 a.m. What a delicious treat yesterday it was to have this early morning entertainment. And, we're watching here in the studio. We're stressing out, doing whatever you got to do the rest of the day, watching it, getting pumped up. And, this LSU baseball team continues to be at their best when it matters most. There's a lot that we're going to get into yet from yesterday. First, I want to break down the actual game itself. We'll look at what it means for LSU's tournament chances and really just kind of look at this team as a whole. I think the second half of the season as they just continue to get better and better and better. So much good yesterday, dominating the Georgia Bulldogs, a team that's number 6 in RPI, a team that with a good showing in Hoover could have pushed for a national host, a team that is guaranteed to wrap up a regional host, and it wasn't even close yesterday. God, so much good. Jake, what's up, man? How we feeling today?
Feeling great, just like you. We got a chance to watch a game during our show, which literally never happens.
Super fun. Except for today again.
Yeah, I was going to say we get the chance again back-to-back days, but LSU did exactly what they needed to do. We're going to break it down from every single angle. The SEC baseball tournament is something that we all love. I mean, it's all-day baseball. We got a great nightcap between Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and so great time of year.
I feel bad. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I should have planned something more absurd or ridiculous, but I don't want to overdo it. I mean, here at the beginning of the postseason, but I don't know that my enthusiasm. I feel like I'm failing in coming across in how awesome I felt like yesterday actually was. I know Jay Johnson talked a lot about he feels that they should have already been in regardless of yesterday's result, and that's all well and good. And I think objectively, if you're just making purely data-driven decisions, that he would be right. But given the politicking nature of selection committees, given the fear out there of in college baseball in general, Jake, of just how powerful the South is becoming, thinking SEC and ACC.
Yeah.
The disillusion of the Pac-12. Why would you go play at any of these Pac-12 schools like you always have in the past when you can come down here, make more money, play on a bigger stage, set up yourself to get drafted earlier on? I mean, again, who's going to be drafted probably 1-1 in the upcoming draft? The guy who you shut down yesterday, who plays in the SEC, Charlie Connon. But the point of it is, like, yes, from a pure data perspective, LSU should have already been in regardless of yesterday's result. But combined with the temperature of college baseball, what other coaches and whatnot would stump for, I was very unconvinced that they would be. They needed to beat Georgia yesterday to take control of their own destiny. And again, they did it, man. This team's ability to be at their best when the stakes are highest, even in a down year. Last year, they did it in a great year. This year, they're doing it in a down year. What's the common denominator? Jay Johnson, the Time Lord. I'll get into that in a second. Alondra, how you feeling today?
I feel great. I'm super happy that we won yesterday.
Yep.
And like y'all, it's super fun to watch the game while you're at work. Everybody was in my office yesterday.
Yeah, you get a nice little, it's got a little bit of March Madness. Everybody's kind of checked out, a little like you're at work, but not really having to work.
Yeah.
I mean, even doing snaps yesterday, I was watching it the entire time, getting like distracted the entire time. Thankfully, it wasn't super close, so I could do some semblance of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just, again, these Georgia fans try to act like they're so above it.
I'm just like a little, not upset, but a little something, a little annoyed, I guess, because the game starts at 9:30 and we have a meeting at 11.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. One of the big company quarterly meetings at 11 a.m. today. How many people are going to be trying to eye hustle the phone during the? Well, don't say it out loud.
I'm doing unapologetically.
You can't let the bosses
First
know.
rule of eye hustling: don't mention eye hustling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Taylor, wow,
Okay.
you finally said something correct. Congratulations.
Well, everybody knows now, and it's fine. So you should know that I'm.
Who knows? Maybe the boss doesn't listen to the show. You know, Tay. How are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Senioritis last day?
Yeah.
Orlando on the horizon?
I'm so jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
In a good mood.
All right, cool. Thanks for nothing. All right, let's go back to Jay
self-explanatory,
Johnson
I guess. Yeah.
being a Time Lord. Alondra, I believe you have this quote. This is about Jay Johnson getting how far out they were planning this. And Jay Johnson, like we said yesterday, he is basically Doctor Strange with the time stone, going through all the different realities and finding the only one in which LSU can find their way back from that 3-12 SEC start. Here's Jay Johnson and how they had Gage Jump ready for yesterday.
We put this in play about 3 weeks ago that he would pitch this game if we'd put ourselves in the position we did, which was to be a NCAA tournament team. So he's been working hard and ready to roll, and was as good today against one of the best offenses in college baseball.
I mean, come on, bro. What are we talking about? I mean, he sneakily told us last week when we talked last Wednesday, we have a plan. We have the roadmap. It's the same exact thing he told us last year in Omaha when it looked like their pitching was depleted and there was no way they were going to be able to pull it off. Once again, Jay Johnson does it. So for a month now, essentially, they have been working with Gage Jump in terms of his workload, his recovery, preparing for this. I also love, Jake, that he was basically like, look, man, and we said this yesterday, I think to our credit, like, he's going to be a pro pitcher, or at least that's his aspirations. This is going to be his life. So it's not like it's a massive risk. This is literally what he's going to be expected to do in his entire adult life if he manages to accomplish his dreams. And Gage Jump, absolutely fantastic yesterday. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, only 1 walk, all against arguably the top lineup in the entire country. Definitely one of the most scary tops of the lineup.
Yeah.
They go combined 1 of 12. Charlie Connon goes hitless. And it was, there were some early wobbles a bit. But it was at that moment when I felt like the defense had Gage Jump's back, and that gave him the confidence to settle in and get hyper efficient and manage to go deep. Because early on, he was at 30-something pitches through about 1 1/3 or something. But yeah, Gage Jump, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was excited, like when Jay brought this plan to him, like, hey, here's what you're going to do, and you're going to pitch. He probably figured it against a really good baseball team, and also probably for the opportunity to show that he has healed from his injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can go on short rest. Hey, you can draft me. We looked it up yesterday. He's a top 65 guy in the upcoming MLB draft. Probably, hey, I can come back, short rest, and dominate a lineup like that. Like, think about what that probably did for his draft stock yesterday.
Yeah, true.
Being able on short rest after a good outing on the weekend against Ole Miss, you come back and then you do that against that Georgia team. And again, on normal, like what's going to end up being normal day rest for him. And so that was going to be big for him. And he was as impressive as you could have ever hoped for. And so that's what gives you an opportunity. That's what gives you a chance, is the fact that you have Gage Jump, you have Luke Holman. And now that we feel like you've done enough to get into the NCAA tournament, any regional setting, they are going to be a tough out. Like, when you see, if they get a 3, which they're projected to be a 3 right now.
Bro, that projection was so friendly. Like, if that actually happened, it was going to Dallas Baptist?
It was Oklahoma State with Dallas Baptist.
Yeah, that's right. Oklahoma State, but the 16
Yeah.
seed. You're projected to go to the 16 seed with Dallas Baptist and Lamar.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't lose. You always can. It's a tournament. But, like, damn, I don't think anybody else in that region will be happy to see you.
No.
And the thing about Gage Jump is, and Jay Johnson kept harping on this yesterday, he was incredible out of conference, shut down UL, undefeated. I don't think he allowed a run out of conference. Then he gets the SEC. A little wobbles early on, but really – he's been incredible for about 7 starts in a row now. Like, he's been one of the more dominant pitchers in the entire country. And this, if anybody could find me this stat, please let me know. Because I feel like they mentioned it on one of the broadcasts recently. But what is LSU's team ERA in the second half of this SEC schedule? I feel like it's sub 3. I mean, if we were to look and add it up, there just have not. Maybe the Texas A&M game would potentially ruin that. But, like, besides that, it has been dominant. And maybe it's sub. I mean, I would say it's almost definitely sub 3 from Holman and Jump specifically. Yeah. But, like, they've been great this entire second half of the year. And I mentioned the defense yesterday and what confidence it had to give Jump, right? You had the Bingham diving catch, Tommy White's bare hand play to first, Ashton Larson leaping into the wall. And as a pitcher, it gives you such confidence, whereas for parts of this year, it's been the opposite, right? The pitcher making the pitch and the defense not coming through. And then even in the 8th, Herring comes in, walks 2, Charlie Condon's up, and, well, who's Johnny on the spot once again? Tommy White, double play. I mean, great pitch, obviously, by Herring as well, but getting it done and settling things down. It's just, it was just a fantastic, and we haven't even gotten into the bats, which continue to improve and are hitting better and better, more consistently, and damn near everyone's hitting. Just got a couple of holes left in that lineup.
Yeah, so the double play in the 8th inning, I mean, Charlie Condon up, 2 guys on, no outs. You're looking at the score, like, all right, 6-1. It's going to be 6-4.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that happens, can you close the door on – because, I mean, the guy's hitting almost 500, for a large portion of the season, and he's got over 30-something home runs, which is just crazy. And you had held him down so long, right? But credit to this mentality of LSU and their pitching staff. And I think if you watch Herring pitch, he's got a little juice to him. He talks to himself a lot.
He does such a good job of, like, even in the Alabama game, which I know they ended up losing, but in the Alabama game to go, what was it, hit, walk, walk, or walk, hit, walk, whatever it was, and then strike out the next 2 and then get the third to what should have been out as well. Like, he does an unreal job of not panicking when he sometimes puts himself into a little bit of a panicky situation.
Yeah, he does. And look, his mentality, he looks like he has closer mentality kind of written all over him. And, he's been the finisher. He's been one of your finishers. And so he came in, did exactly what he had to do, even if he did get into some trouble. And that's another thing. Like, you only had to use 2 pitchers yesterday.
Yep.
Like, you used 2 guys.
Massive.
Georgia used 5 guys, right? And that was their plan coming in. But still, you used 2 guys, and now you have everyone available. And now, like, how are you going to handle this game? Like, what is going to be the moves? Because we know Jay Johnson. Every game to him means something. Right? He's going to go out there and try to win every single game they possibly can. They're going for it.
I mean, I think, does Holman throw today?
I mean, that would
That'd be my guess.
I don't see why not.
Why would it not be if you go Gage Jump?
I'm sure they've been doing the same thing with Luke Holman that they've been doing with Gage Jump. Knowing the Time Lord that is Jay Johnson.
You still don't want to have 2 more losses, on the tally there.
No. You don't want to give any excuse.
Yeah, you don't want to go out against Kentucky and get beat 7-1.
No.
Like, you don't want that on your resume. And so now that you've shown this is how you want to handle this SEC tournament, yeah. I mean, you pitch Holman today. You go try to beat the number one team in the country.
Yeah, you already did. I mean, you took a series off the number one team in the country just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, still a ton to get to. We're going to respect the clock a little bit here. And when we get back, then we can talk about the lineup, which, again, there's just so much good from yesterday's game that it's kind of overwhelming to think about where to start. You want to give everybody their shine. So let's talk about the approach of the plate. We still got to get to, okay, what does the tournament look like now? What else happened yesterday? A lot to get to from Hoover. Heavy LSU baseball here in hour one. We'll get to Saints OTAs a bit later in the show. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com. You need real steel, okay? You want to go to Community Steel, guys. It's right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. They make everything, manufacture everything on site. All your purlin, tubing, accessories, sheet metal, steel buildings, all of it. Steel buildings are pretty cool, too, because you can actually, I mean, it's almost like model homes. You can walk through what you are purchasing. So, like, maybe it's personal use. You got an RV or something, you need a little shed, a little overhang for it. They got you, man. Business, they got you, man, because they have humans on the sales team. Imagine that. You're not just dealing with online order forms or national call services. No, people right there in Gonzales helping you. Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com.
Even though it's only 7:15, they've already been open for 15 minutes. They open the doors at 7 a.m. They are waiting on you. Come check them out today. Again, find that location on their website, top right corner of the site, CommunitySteelCo.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're the de facto post-game show again. LSU and Kentucky from Hoover. We'll take a look at the NCAA tournament bubble and What If Wednesday. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Wait till I get my money right. I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. To whom much is given, much is tested.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What happened, y'all? Still just thinking about Tommy White defense, dude. It's crazy. The screamer that he snagged at third, the bare hand, the double play. And what's crazy is, again, maybe unlike some of the other defensive plays, well, I don't know, whatever. It's just that it's been all year long. Like, this was not just like a guy stepping up out of nowhere. This was a continuation of what has been a defensive revolution for Tommy White. All right, but let's talk about the lineup, because I feel like the lineup did a great job of setting the tone here and giving Gage jump. Like, again, this is a team game. The defense gave Jumps confidence. I feel like the lineup gave Jump confidence with the early lead, forcing a very early pitching change. I mean, what, the starter got through one out? Was it?
One or two. He didn't make it out of the first.
One or two didn't even make it out of the first inning. And it was really that top of the lineup, Braswell, Tommy White, and Josh Pearson, that set the tone, immediately all coming up and going 2 of 2. Look, and then you had, I think, Milam and Milazzo continue the clutch hitting, kind of Milam in the middle there, Milazzo at the bottom to turn things over. And speaking of clutch hitting, I mean, Josh Pearson, dude, it's just insane. And really Milazzo, for that matter, Jake. Like, yeah. When guys aren't on base, it's kind of whatever. But when you have to have it in the highest leverage moments, and with Pearson, really, it's just like the calendar. When the calendar turns to summer and baseball starts to matter the most, these guys are at their best. We said yesterday Milazzo may be one of the main X factors behind all of these second half improvement. Well, you saw again why yesterday, as this guy who has no power and just dinks these little singles ends up with a multi-RBI game. I mean, it was what? Pearson had 3, Milazzo had 2, and everybody else had 1s. Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
And also, like, we know what he gives you behind the plate and the pitchers and what their stats kind of look like since he's fully taken over as the guy there. But if he's doing this for you, I mean, you considered that lanyap at the beginning when he takes over, but it's consistent now. And you're right, like it seems like it is clutch hitting. I mean, I think he came up yesterday one time with nobody on. We're like, okay. But you get somebody on, you get 2 outs, and you get a situation where he's got to drive a guy in. And that can be the difference because we've called it out. I mean, LSU's just not been good in those situations all season long.
No.
And, I mean, you felt like yesterday we're all watching the game in here. You only got 2 runs in the first inning. We're all like, oh, boy.
Yeah, especially going against that offense. And then what? You only scratch across 1 with the base loaded in the second, I believe?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was – you felt at the time like, yeah, maybe you were leaving too much on the plate. And to be fair, like, when they get that run in the third – is that when Georgia got?
They got it in the second.
They got in the second.
Yeah.
That felt a little bad. Right at that point, yes, that's when Jump's pitch count was high. Wasn't very efficient thus far. It looked like he was wobbling. And again, the defense kind of gave him the confidence in him making some excellent pitches to carry forward. And credit to the lineup, it wasn't fluky, right? That was the fear, is that, okay, you had these opportunities, you missed it. Will you be able to continue to produce? And they continued to. I mean, how many innings did they score yesterday?
You
got the box score pulled up?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, so more than half of your innings managing to add to that total. And really, when you look at the lineup, all of a sudden, guys, it's a lineup without a lot of holes. It seems like you finally found your leadoff guy in Braswell. Tommy White just, 4 multi-hit games in a row now? Unbelievable.
Fuego.
Again, Josh Pearson batting cleanup. Yeah, that's who you want cleanup when people are on. It's funny because not maybe, and Johnson said this, Jay Johnson did after the game yesterday, but maybe not. He's like not your like stereotypical cleanup hitter, but it's what this team needs. right now. If you can get Bear Jones back in a rhythm, Hayden Travinski back in a rhythm, and then Ashton Larson back to what he was doing a bit early on, then you have no holes. And I know that's a big if, but even if you get one of those guys, 2 of 3 of those guys, because Milam is on fire right now, and Milazzo is as well.
When you look at...
Now we forgot about Bingham. Yeah,
but when you look at Jones, he still had 2 walks, yesterday.
Not the worst at bats, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a couple of strikeouts, but I don't think he's that far away. Like, for Travinski, I thought the Ole Miss series, like, even when he was 1 for 4 in the second game, like, even his outs were loud. And then he goes 3. I think he got, 3 for 4 the last game of the series. And yesterday, it's like, man, good productive out his first time up. Remember, he moved the runner over. But he did end up having a couple of strikeouts. Like, he feels like somebody, you got to get him going a little bit because he can leave the ball field. We know that. We know how hot he was in the SEC tournament last year in the postseason, one of the best players like in the tournament. Like, they talked about it yesterday on his first at bat. And so that's somebody that I think if you get him going more than anybody else, because like Larson, he's a freshman. You know what I mean? Like, he's hit the wall. And that's not to say that he can't come up with big hits. He had a huge catch yesterday. He had 2 walks, and so he's not having bad at-bats. But that is a freshman. This is probably the longest baseball season he's ever played. I think you have a more likelihood of Travinski kind of coming back to form.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, that would be massive in terms of what him alone could if he came back to this team. I mean, you'd probably take him maybe even over Bear potentially. Because then all of a sudden that middle lineup's really going to threaten you into the bottom instead of Milan Milazzo. What was it? Champ says, it's not whatever when guys aren't on base. The approach completely changes. That's why these guys hit much better with 2 outs because the approach is the same as with runners in scoring position. Again, I don't. So because then Steven says, Champ, that's just non-baseball guys' mindset. LOL. Okay. Well, listen up, baseball experts.
Hey, Champ coaches a youth baseball team, though.
Yeah, I know. So you would know.
Do you win rings?
Yeah. How many tournaments have you won, dude? Because these lug nuts are on fire. Okay. But no. The point is, I'm approaching this, yes, from the spectator standpoint. We're not saying that they go up there and they're like whatever, or that their approach isn't different. Of course it is. Situationally, everything changes every time. Like we've talked about Tommy White, even the level of Tommy White finding success this year in a lineup where he doesn't have the protection that he did last year. Like, yes, everything changes, but all we are saying is that from a spectator standpoint, yeah, these guys, it feels like they are at their best when guys are on. And so, yeah, when guys aren't, it's just kind of humorously you say, oh, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yesterday they came through. Let's get into okay. Anything else on the game yesterday? I saw your chat or your comment in the chat, Alondra, about Milam's power. The home run's fantastic. How he packs all of that power in that tiny frame. I will not understand the physics of. He's got a little Altuve in him. I think it was last weekend where either Hunt, Ben, or Lynn, somebody mentioned that they think that Milam will be a 10 home run guy before his time at LSU is done. And yeah, I would say that's correct.
I would as well. And for him to come onto the scene like he did as a freshman and then kind of hit some struggles and to be able to find his way back out of it. We just talked about it with Larson. When you're a freshman, it doesn't matter the sport, you're going to hit that wall. You can hit the freshman wall, and it is so difficult to come back from. In fact, you just don't see many ever come back from it. Like, think about Bear Jones last year. Bear Jones was awesome at the beginning of the year, and then he tailed off, and then he didn't play, right? Because he's a freshman, and I get that. Now he's one of your better players, but that's what happens. Well, Milam went through that, T-Bob, and he was able to figure it out. Now, he was still helping you in the field, base running, those type of things, but he has figured it back out. This is somebody that when he leaves LSU, like, he's going to be a name that you remember. He's going to have a shot. He's got the great baseball makeup, DNA. He does all the things right to be able to get himself back in position to go do what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I guess, there's a reason why they call him Monster. The ceiling, who knows how high the ceiling on him goes. And I'm glad that you pointed out the improvement that he showed during the year, because that more than anything makes me excited. Like, if you're telling me as an 18-year-old that he could adjust to this conference on the fly like that, What happens when he now has a year of experience to draw on in an entire offseason? What happens when he has 2 years of experience to draw on? Like, who knows how dominant he'll end up being. Okay, to be fair to Champ, he is a 2-time traction champ. So
yeah, I wrote it.
I think he would know.
Only 2 times? Imagine.
Okay, anything else in the game itself before we get into Jay stubbing for his team, looking at what else happened yesterday and what it means for the tournament?
I just think you've done what you needed to do, but I don't think that you take your foot off the gas.
Look, you're in the zone. Like, why rest? Like, just keep doing. Just keep winning.
And I know some of the worry is always, well, God, you're going to do too much in Hoover, and are you prioritizing Hoover too much and try to get in the postseason? Like, this team has to get into the postseason, and then once you feel like you've added to your resume enough, which I think we all think they have, but still. Like, you want to get in there and you want to be comfortable. And then still, like, seeding matters. And like we talked about, like, if you ended up somewhere with Oklahoma State, Dallas Baptist, and Lamar, like, you would feel really good about that draw.
Well, yeah, also, it is a deal where with this team, Jake, look, you want to watch playoff baseball, right? It's the most fun baseball to watch. I feel like we've been watching playoff baseball for weeks now.
Yeah.
And so I don't have championship expectations on this team, right? Like, I just want to watch this team. Like, I want to see how good can a team that was 3-12 at the turn, how good can that team finish? Again, I'm not expecting them to even reach a super regional or anything like that. So I guess what I'm getting at is it just feels like a bit of fun lanyap. And like, okay, let's just push this thing as hard as you can. Maybe that's seeing what you can do here in Hoover and then throw everything against the wall again at the regional. Like, I don't. Maybe if I was like in Arkansas or something, and whatever, you get the point. If you already locked up your seating and you have national championship expectations, then maybe you get into managing rest and whatnot a bit more. But with this team, like, let it all hang out and just play free and see where the chips fall, dude. Just go for it.
I think they'll do exactly that today against Kentucky.
Hell yeah, dude.
It is so hard not to call Kentucky what you call them, which we would certainly get in trouble for.
You can say Kentucky.
Okay, but that's not the first thing that comes to my mind because I've heard you call Kentucky something else for so long.
I don't get Kenlucky?
Mm-hmm.
Because they randomly went 22-8 despite the fact that they've not really been that good. I mean, I guess they were pretty good last year.
I'm just letting you know it's going to slip one time, and I'm blaming you.
No, that's on you, bro.
I didn't say it wasn't on me, but I'm blaming you.
Just
like Mark, like I got Mark Stoops coming up next week. I'm going to be in Destin, and I'm going to have Mark Stoops, and I'm going to call him Mark Poops because of you.
If you call him Mark Poops to his face, that'll be you will have finally reached your final form. That will be you self-actualizing, achieving nirvana, and becoming the man you were always meant to be. If you believed in reincarnation and you were Hindu, the only thing holding you back from achieving the highest state of mind is your belief in Mark Stoops. Mm-hmm. Like, the second you let that go, you untether yourself from that $9 million mediocrity, you will truly know freedom.
This who champions for Nebraska is talking about teams being...
Relax. I've been a couple years early on the Nebraska stock, okay? But when all y'all have been selling, I've been buying, okay? And we are set to pump. And guess what? I ain't even going to dump. Big pump coming this fall for Nebraska.
And then we're getting off on something else, but that's NC State for me. I've been buying.
Yeah, I know.
I've been buying.
And it seems like this is finally the year where they're supposed to be. We didn't mention the top 25 rankings yesterday. Where'd they check in? Number 9 or 10?
Post-spring?
Yeah, the post-spring.
On ESPN, they were 13.
Okay, 13. Yeah, right ahead of LSU, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grayson McCall has somehow another year of eligibility left.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
What will Grayson McCall be like? Well, I guess he's been without Jamie Chadwell here. So
wasn't his best year though.
Without him last year, and honestly,
it wasn't.
I've been a big Grayson McCall fan. He was not as good without Jamie Chadwell last year.
Yeah. All right, we are getting distracted though. Let's go to break. When we get back, let's look at what happened yesterday in Hoover. Let's look at what it means for LSU, their tournament expectations. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Tommy's so hot right now. Tommy White is, but so is Go Tommy's. and Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. I should say so is Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. And the website is GEAUX. Tommy's, TOMMYS. You can go online there and you can schedule your service. You can set up a free estimate, whether you want hardy plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door. Tommy's is your answer. And like I tell you every single day, guys, there's a reason why they've won the Angie Service Award for 7 years running now, all 7 years in existence, is because the core of everything they do is providing you with the best possible service. That's why I tell you to make them one of your 3 bids and let Tommy and the team prove to you why they're the correct choice for your job.
GoTommys.com is the website, and you can go check out what they can do for you. Testimonials of past clients. You can check out a gallery of their work. You can check out all their custom work on the website. That's GEAUXTommys.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We'll recap LSU-Kentucky from the SEC tournament and day 2 of Saints OTAs. We'll have the latest. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling comes to my door.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Xbox naming conventions are awful. We get there a bit later. As some disappointing news out of EA on EA College Sports. God, the name's awful. EA College Football 25.
It's EA Sports College Football 25. You know,
yeah,
I did put out a poll there yesterday because we were talking about it on off campus, and I was just curious, like, who you're going to start your dynasty with, because it's always a fun conversation.
Yeah.
And so I put 4 different options: favorite team, random group of 5 team, random P4 team, or a team in your home state, which I talk about all the time, like ULM, Louisiana Tech.
Gross.
It's not gross.
It's a little gross.
I was shocked. 59% said they're just going to start with their favorite team.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, that's
shocking, though.
I think we're too deep in the forest to see through the trees in this case, because we love college football so much that we like the idea of building a program up where I think a lot of people just want the power fantasy of like, no, this is my favorite team and I want to go ball with my favorite team.
Like,
I mean, because I guess that's who I was growing up. I only played with LSU. I would go in and manually.
Okay.
I would go in and manually change the roster, just LSU's, to like I'd get the media guide and go in and name everybody.
Did you
and
change me from fullback to tailback to keep it authentic?
I don't know, because the last one I played very seriously, I want to say, was 06.
Yeah. Continue. I was on the squad, leading rusher.
I know. I think Sharon Carey probably led for the team. He was very fast. Him and Joe.
On the game.
Yes. Yeah. On the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
because Shai was more quick than fast.
No, I know. But on the game, he was very quick.
That'd have been the 05 season. So, no, I'd have still been fullback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Joe Adai as well. Dominating. Maybe that was 04.
I've said it often. When I got here in 04, I said, I'm supposed to play the same position as that guy?
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. All right. Okay, back to Jay Johnson here. So here's what Jay Johnson had to say yesterday about Coach, because he definitely stumped as saying that, look, after the Ole Miss sweep, LSU should 100% be in. So he was kind of asked, well, so how did you approach this game with Georgia if you believe that you already should have been in the tournament?
Well, it was an unbelievable opportunity as I saw it. I really believe we're one of the best teams in the country. We're just playing all the other ones. I mean, of our 10 league series, 8 of those teams are going to be in the NCAA tournament, along with us. Nobody else does that. I think that's our 19th win against the top 45 RPI teams in the country. I think that's like less than 5 teams have that. We're like 9-3 against teams 25 to 40, which is usually the bubble. So logically, my brain goes to, we're in a good spot. Now, this was an opportunity to take RPI number 5, national television audience, one of the best pitchers in the country that people don't know about because he's kind of, just kind of emerged this year. And what a good win for our team for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I do kind of love that. Again, I like the idea, what he's touching on the latter half there, Jake, about, well, also, I do love framing it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
But I love what he's talking about with Gate Jump there. It's kind of an intimidation. It's almost like, what's a good analogy here? Because again, it's almost like sending a message to the rest of the tournament teams when they watch Gage jump on this national stage against Charlie Condon and company, saying, "Oh, guess what? If we end up in your town, this is who you're going to have to deal with." And maybe you haven't seen him this year because you weren't paying attention to us or because you thought we were dead in the water. But guess what? Like Tyson Fury, we back. Okay? Like Tyson Fury standing up after the Deontay Wilder punch. We back, and we're coming stronger than ever. And now Luke Holman's going to have, if he does get the nod today, going to have this potentially the same chance to do the same thing here. So I love kind of a shot across the bow of the rest of the country.
Man, just hearing that soundbite of what we just heard from Jay Johnson, that's the reason that whenever LSU was looking for a new baseball coach, I was like, gosh, I hope they give this guy from Arizona a chance, because I met him years ago when he was an assistant at San Diego, and he had that mindset already.
Yep.
Like, he is going to know exactly what the situation is, who they've played, what the resume looks like, what he has to do to build the resume. He just understands all the things that it takes to build a championship program. That's why they won a national championship a year ago, and you hear it there in that answer.
And I mean, again, Time Lord, bracketology genius, all of these things apply. Your RPI is now up to 20. I saw 24 on D1 Baseball this morning.
They already updated this morning?
I believe so. I think your KPI is now up to 16 or 17.
Baseball loves 3-letter things, don't they?
Yeah. Baseball just loves numbers.
They do.
I mean,
I'm a numbers guy.
Now they're what? They're into like swing speed and swing distance.
Yeah.
Is what Lynn and Hunt were talking about on Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's just a very
They're also
data-driven
talking
game.
about blueberry pie.
And all the foods, carrots, steaks, blueberry pie. So I asked the question, ask and you shall receive. I asked, what would LSU's SEC ERA be the second half of the year? And wouldn't you know it, who came through on Twitter? My guy, Todd Politz. Speaking of numbers, the man with the numbers when it comes to all LSU sports. In the last 15 SEC games, you have a staff ERA of 3.86, guys. And how about this? Not that you should do this, but I feel comfortable in engaging with this as a mental exercise because it's such an outlier. If you take away the 14 runs from A&M in Game 3, which, again, outlier, a 3.11 ERA over 14 SEC games. And that's not including yesterday, by the way, guys. And for context, if we look up, staff ERAs, conference-only games, who was first in the conference? Arkansas at 3.14.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, 4.14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So no. So Arkansas was the best staff in the SEC conference only at a 4.14 ERA. So you have been a run better than that over the second half of this season. Nate Yeske, take a bow. You got a lot of crap for a lot of the season, but Nate Yeske deserves your praises at this point. If you're going to criticize when criticism's due, you got to give praise when praise is due.
Yeah, there's no question about that. That is a remarkable stat that they've been able to do considering, what they've had to roll out there on Sundays and piece it together and figure it out. But the combination of the 4 pitchers that we talk about, the starters and the finishers, I mean, they have been lights out. They've given you an opportunity and a chance to win every one of those games that they've pitched here down the stretch. Even the games that you lost certainly wasn't their fault, right?
Yeah.
You start looking at some of the games where they, gave it up at the end and some crazy endings.
And don't forget, Griffin Herring by far has the best ERA in the SEC. He has been basically untouchable in his role.
You asked earlier, T-Bob, about the RPI. You do move up to 27 from 30.
Then what is,
And this was updated yesterday, so I'm assuming it's live, basically.
You were already, I thought you were are there different RPIs? Because
This is on NCAA's official website, yeah.
Okay, but do people have like different RPI systems here? Because LSU was already at 29, I thought, going into yesterday. I heard they jumped up in Georgia, but then maybe somebody jumped them back. I don't know. This has
let's go to D1 Baseball's RPI because if it's better,
D1 Baseball
that's what we're going to use.
D1 Baseball is LSU at 26.
That's okay. That's what we're going to use. Let's go D1 Baseball. I like those guys. Shout out Eric. Shout out Kendall. Everybody.
Joe Healy, Mark Etheridge did a great job on the SEC beat. All right.
But regardless of which one it really is, like the important thing is, one, you're ahead of Florida in both of them by 1 spot that we're looking at right here. That's important.
Is Florida going to end up being the odd man out?
I think so. They're 20.
Because it was going to be Vanderbilt. It was going to be Vanderbilt even below LSU, but then they come up with the win.
Look, strength of schedule. By the way, you got Louisiana Tech that's on D1 Baseball, 2 spots behind you. They're ahead of you. In the NCAA RPI, and they have a strength of schedule of 90, but I'm not sure how that works. And you got to win over them. Florida, though, 28 and 27.
That's what I'm saying. I know. Well, look, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, let's break down actually what happened the rest of Hoover. Keep you distracted. More OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Look, All-Star is your one-stop shop for all things vehicles. If you need brand new vehicles, maybe Toyota certified used vehicles, where you still get excellent warranty coverage, go to the website right now, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and you can see on the flippers just all the great deals that you have going on. Deals for students about to enroll in college, deals all over the place. Always got great deals for military members as well. And then remember, you get in an accident, insurance claims are welcome, free professional estimates, all at the All-Star Toyota Service Center. Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Go to the website. It is not too late. Like, not all of us get to take a vacation in the middle of the week like Tay-Tay. Maybe we have to wait until the weekend. So you still have a couple of more days to rent that Toyota for that end of school vacation that you've had planned for months. But it's okay. You don't have to have your vehicle planned for months. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today in the rental department. Check them out online, allstartoyota.batonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206.
Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Roca Pizzeria. LSU baseball will be going on alongside the show, so be with us along with Scott Rabelais, Wes Reynolds, and professional handicapper Randy McKay. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Wednesday, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Oh, what a banger.
I never made the video.
Well, you know this song, though.
Bruh, do I know this song?
Okay. Well, yesterday, after the Black Crowes, I don't know, man.
This is no, that's fair. I'm not. You're right. Your reaction is fair, but this was my 2 older sisters' theme song of the lake.
That
so
makes
I've
sense.
probably heard this a million times. I actually used to think about this when Anthony Davis left the Pelicans. I used to listen to this all the time, and I really wanted to make a parody video about him coming into my life and this beautiful tryst that we had, and then he's just kind of gone.
This was the go-to karaoke song back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
This is a good karaoke
It's a great karaoke song because everybody will sing it with you.
Everyone sings it with you.
You will not be left alone.
That's why Friends in Low Places.
Yes, Friends in Low Places.
Yeah, you only
is a
have to
good
do
one,
like the
too.
first 6 words, and then everybody
And
else
then you do the
stand
third
there.
verse with Friends in Low Places, and everybody's like,
you just kind of talk through Friends in Low Places. You don't even have to really sing.
Yeah.
You know?
Shout out to Mavericks.
Not
That's where we
everybody
go to
everybody does Tenacious D in karaoke like some people.
That's my go-to. My wheelhouse. I tried Tyler Childers. That was just he's way too good. Couldn't do it. So I had to go back to got a little over my skis. There.
Yeah, why would you? No,
I had to
that's
go
a
back to my
terrible
comfort zone.
karaoke choice.
If I get over my skis.
Yeah, it was. But I wanted to sing it. You know, I don't know.
I did Heartbreak
car.
Hotel by Elvis on a cruise one time.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Oh, I'd love to see that, dude.
My grandparents used to make me get up. Like on Wednesdays, they would do karaoke night at their bar.
Yeah.
And they used to make me get up and do karaoke and do like Selena songs.
God, I love your growing up in the bar stories. It's so badass. All right, so other things that happened yesterday in Hoover. South Carolina, Bama battling early. South Carolina gives up 5 runs over 4 innings. Then Chris Veach comes in, and he shuts Alabama down. 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, no walks. South Carolina ends up winning 10-5. Alabama's RPI is still 18.
That game flipped on its head. I mean, Alabama was up. It was 3-2, and then and then you look up, and it was 6-3. Was Veach the guy that got LSU last year? They couldn't adjust to his speed. I think it was.
Maybe
in
so.
the regular season, yeah.
I mean, the DH had a funny post-game moment where he basically said, like, I don't think I've ever gotten a hit off Veach or whatever. So Alabama's RPI, though, still 18. South Carolina, 19. So, look, South Carolina doing exactly what they needed to do after losing all those SEC games to end the season. Alabama still probably in all likelihood. Vanderbilt beats Florida 6-3. This felt maybe the most like an elimination game. I mean, Vanderbilt was probably the most outside looking in to begin with. Now you have a Florida team that, again, is 1 game above 500. I know what the RPI is and everything, but, like, can they be in there? And then we'll get to Mississippi State, Ole Miss. It was an instant classic. Mississippi State walks it off, wins the season series 3-2, sends Ole Miss home, advances their own case to be a regional host, potentially, and maybe signs Mike Bianco's death warrant. I mean, a massive moment for the Bulldogs.
Ben Mintz is in Hoover with no team to root for.
Hate to see it. Hour number 2 coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to also AccuTemp of Baton Rouge. AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. Get that service to the highest degree by taking control of your comfort zone. And that service will blow you away. Get it? But I'm being serious. Go look at the online reviews, okay? Damn near 5.0. We're talking 4.9 with thousands upon thousands of reviews. How in the world does that happen on the internet? Because you're genuinely doing an incredible job. So make sure that your system's good to go for summer. Get a checkup. And if you want to explore stuff like a whole home generator, there's your answer there as well. AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com.
Go to the website to get that appointment scheduled today because it is important. Like, the last thing that you want to do is all of a sudden your unit gives out and you have no AC here in the South Louisiana heat. Make sure it is up to date, and you can do that by getting AccuTemp out to the house, AccuTempBR.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Wednesday, May 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 91. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll talk New Orleans Saints OTAs, LSU football, the NFL story of the day, and more. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T.J. Galantre, and Tay hanging out with you today. Mac Lindsay says more like Mike Bianco. Am I right?
I don't hate it. I mean, I hated the fact that because, you know, I've always had great conversations with him.
No, I was going to say, I don't dislike Mike. Like, I think we all actually have
like Mike, but
some love
the
for Mike.
pun that you're giving there is actually pretty good.
But, I mean, this you have a conversation. Is this a well, he's owed a lot of money though, right? We said $7 million.
$7 million.
Ooh,
a milli.
And Ole Miss is already spending quite a bit. I don't know. Again, do you try to approach him with the hey, is it maybe time to
say fella
hang it up convo? But again, I think if I'm Mike, I'm like
yeah.
Okay, good one. Yeah. I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah.
That'd be such a good conversation. It's like, hey, I know you enjoy this. You know, it'd be a lot more fun if like you didn't coach next year.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know. Like, maybe he doesn't enjoy it. The point is, if you fire me and you have to pay me $7 million, you better offer me $7 million to retire.
Yeah,
like or at least like $5 or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting some of that money.
Yeah,
maybe I'd find it in my heart if you were like $5 to be like, okay, you know what, I've done well. We can do this. But what's the video of like I think it's from an old Mexican television show, but it's a guy without teeth laughing. He's like talking like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That would be me discussing that with who's Ole Miss's AD now? Doesn't matter. You get the point. But yeah, that was an incredible way to end Hoover yesterday. You know, I was a little so like obviously the LSU game, you're worried and on the edge of your seat the entire time, even though it's not really close because you're.
It's Keith Carter.
Keith Carter, that's right.
And he looks like like he'd be Ole Miss athletic director, sharp dressed, super young. Looks young. I think he's young.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, I feel like Ole Miss is one of those AD spots where they're going to it's kind of like maybe not unlike how they've dealt with football coaches in the past, even though I don't know how much is that. Whatever. It feels like for an AD, Ole Miss almost feels like a stepping stone sort of spot. But we'll see.
It has been.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Your
point. But we're getting really lost here. Okay. Hoover yesterday. So LSU starts. That whole game, you're locked in the entire time because it's LSU. And then I was like, okay, now I just want to see some great baseball. And, you got a little bit in Alabama, South Carolina. Not so much in Vanderbilt, Florida. Vandy kind of handling the Gators throughout. But then you got the nightcap. And it's Ole Miss and it's Mississippi State. Two teams that hate each other to their core. Two teams that are tied 2-2 on the season. And two teams with stuff to play for. Now, Mississippi State, I would actually has more to play for because they are just on the edge of getting to be a regional host. And if they do, well, then all of a sudden you get to go to Dudy Noble. Like, I don't know if there's a bigger advantage in all of college baseball than, you get to play at Dudy Noble versus you don't. So I think there's a ton on the line for the Bulldogs. For Ole Miss, it would have taken a miracle run and probably winning the whole thing, but that was still technically in play, and you've gone on miracle runs before. And so the opportunity to eliminate your most hated rival when they actually needed it was on the docket for both teams. And so you had the stakes, and then the baseball came through because it was an unreal game. I mean, Riley Maddox dominating for Ole Miss, 7 innings of 3-hit ball, no walks. But how about Brooks Auger for the Bulldogs? 8 innings, 3 hits, 13 Ks. And here's a stat that will blow your mind, Jake. 13 Ks for Auger, 12 balls.
Yeah.
In 8 innings, this man threw 12 balls. He threw less balls than he had strikeouts. That's wild to me. And then he does give up the solo shot, which actually bounces off of, how do you say, what's his name? Husick? How do you say his name?
If it's Eastern European, I'm going to defer.
I'm trying to remember
you
from the broadcast last night. I want to say Husick, but whatever. But last night, Auger gives up the solo shot in which Connor Husick has it on his glove. It bounces over. And then in the bottom of the 9th, Mississippi gets a walk, advance on a wild pitch. Then I think and then you have Dakota Jordan up.
Yeah.
And he strikes out. And then the next hitter ropes one, but diving play by the first baseman, 2 outs, man on third. Husick steps up, bam, walk off. It was what you were waiting for all day in Hoover, and it came in the nightcap in the biggest rivalry, the best game, and in the end, again, Mississippi State helping themselves to maybe hosting, winning the season series 3-2, and sending Ole Miss home. Mwah. And now we get Kentucky LSU at 9:30 a.m. today.
Yep.
Arkansas, South Carolina, 30 minutes after. You get Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Speaking of great in-state rivalries, let's go. Tennessee, Vanderbilt at 4:30, and then Texas A&M, Mississippi State 30 minutes after that. So if you're a college baseball fan, especially SEC, your cup continues to runneth over.
It has been funny on off campus the last couple of days. I've had, Bobby, who, and look, in the Big Ten, they just don't care.
No.
They just do not care at all. But I'm getting him where he's like texting me about watching SEC baseball tournament, and that's not something they get to enjoy. There are major league cities all over, that portion of the country.
Exactly.
But like, he's like, man, this is like high level baseball. I'm like, yeah, Bob, it is. I was like, the guys that you're watching right now, like, you could have some of these in the big leagues next year. Like, you have 2 already in the big leagues from last year's SEC tournament. And so it is funny to kind of, like, the matchups that you just laid out there. I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm going to be watching those during off campus. I hope EJ knows that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it is funny to see people like find it later in life where it wasn't. Now, EJ, Florida State, that's obviously like college baseball is his jam as well. But I mean, it's such a high level. And yesterday, just watching all these players stepping up and having their big moments. And today, the matchups you just read off, I think we're going to have even better moments.
Well, and yeah, to your point about Florida State and EJ, I mean, the ACC is still awesome. They're the only other league that still gives a damn and invests in it. And so, like, again, as the sport continues to be regionalized, it's going to be the ACC and the SEC that continue to rise to the top here. And I don't see how it ends because, we haven't even talked about this. I do not know. The legalese of this is very intense. So if you ask me how it's going to factor in with Title IX, I can't tell you yet. But you know about this settlement that's going down, right, in the NCAA, where they're going to settle for NIL back pay to the tune of $3 billion. It'll be paid out to players over 10 years. But mixed within that, also schools are going to have to start doing rev share with their athletes for up to $20 million, or you can opt in to rev share for up to $20 million. So
which the entire Big 12, right?
Yeah, so
agreed to that.
So not necessarily to opt in at that number, but they approved the settlement.
Right.
The Big 12 has now. Who else has?
I've only seen the Big 12.
Okay. I thought there was maybe one other, but it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, it's starting to go through the approval process, but kind of buried amongst everything is something's happening to scholarship limits where they're not going to be there anymore, because they were talking about baseball having 25 full scholarships.
Yeah.
They're talking about even football maybe having over 100 full scholarships. So, like, there are massive changes coming, and for a sport like baseball, where already in the age of NIL, you're centralizing power because emotional buying becomes economic buying. Like, the SEC is only going, and the ACC for that matter, are only going to continue to separate and continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And what's really cool about it is now, because if you're Bobby's age, Jake, you're used to college baseball being, okay, if you go to college, you're not going to be a great pro. Or you maybe won't be, that. Then okay, then you weren't a good enough prospect to go pro immediately. Maybe you develop, but generally the best guys are going to go straight to the minors. But that's changed 110%. And it's continuing to change more and more every single year. And so now as a college player or as a great high school recruit, you say, okay, well, do I want to go straight to the bigs when I can make comparable money, maybe better money in some cases, going to college in top-level facilities, getting to develop while playing in front of thousands upon thousands of people? Like, it's a path that is making more and more sense in the modern age, and I think will only continue to make more sense now that baseball players can finally get their due for the places who want to give them that due. So, sorry, there was a tirade, but that was all to say that I think that scholarship limits, you're about to have full scholars in baseball.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, as you were talking about it, MLB draft coming up here this year. The top 10 prospects are college guys now.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 11 is the first high school player that you see. That's was crazy. Flipped on its head not that long ago. And so, it's a completely different situation than we've had before. So, how far back is that back pay for NIL? Can you get it? I mean,
no, I think it's like 2016 or 17
I thought
or something.
maybe we had a chance to get T-Bob Hebert some money.
I got my money from college because I think I was in like 4 NCAA games out of college when I had no money. I got like a $4,200 or $4,500 check.
Did you?
From EA, and it was awesome. It was like, I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. So, yeah.
I didn't get in
Still
on
hold
that.
true, or
what?
Does that still hold true?
What? That
That's
it was the
still
greatest day of my life?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's Alice, there's
I had
Odie,
kids,
there's
but
Claude. The day you got married.
I don't know. The national championship baseball is pretty tight. Ooh, the national championship football is pretty tight too, though. No, still the greatest day though.
The day,
Still, I thought so.
the
that would have been my
the day
choice
that you
as well.
got to start doing the show with Me's up there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, really, I was not liking doing this show alone with just
a lot
everybody
to
talking
choose
crap
from.
24/7.
A lot to choose from.
That's true. A lot. That's the point. I'm very blessed. Noah Lejeune, all those Braswell haters ain't got crap to say now. The kid can friggin' rake.
Alondra has been on that before anybody. I'm going to give Alondra credit. She was like, bat him lead off 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, take a bow, Alondra.
Thank you.
You should have told Jay Johnson when he picked up the phone for the interview, just like before he came on
I
air.
keep it
You're like,
very
hey, coach.
short.
Mario would
check
have.
it out. Yeah, Mario probably would have. All right, is that it for baseball today? Baseball talk
until
an hour-ish.
Well, until the game
I'm
starts.
about to say until like about an hour from now. We're about 15 minutes away from. first pitch.
Can chat let us know or text me if you're listening when we know who the starting pitchers are?
It's Luke Coleman.
Okay,
It's
so
been
it is.
confirmed.
It has
Yes.
been confirmed. Who's starting for Kentucky? Do we know yet?
I don't know. I
You
saw
almost said
LSU like baseball tweeted out.
Okay, we'll look it up. All right, coming up next, let's talk about Joe Sloan a little bit.
Say, Joe.
And really probably something that we haven't discussed enough, him becoming, in a pretty unprecedented manner, becoming the LSU offensive coordinator. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com, KTOZblinds.com. You want to maximize the potential of your home, take it to the next level. That's where drapery, blinds, window coverings comes into play. Again, there is nothing that makes a room pop, feel more put together, feel more finished than the correct window coverings. But that's just the aesthetics, right? Also from a functional standpoint, temperature control, light control. You're talking about a TV room or a baby room or something along those lines, master bedroom. And I don't care if it's your dream home or a starter home. Here at KTZ, we've got price points for all homes. So let Brandon Barton come out to your home, break down how your house interacts with the sunlight at every single portion of the day, and give you options that will blow you away. Go to KTZWindows.com.
It's KTZBlinds.com. KTZBlinds.com is the website because T-Bob's right. They're going to know your space in 5 minutes. Change the look of your space inside and out. KTZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're the de facto post-game show again. LSU and Kentucky from Hoover. We'll take a look at the NCAA tournament bubble and What If Wednesday. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I bet you never heard old Marshall.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right. Well, we know who the starter's going to be for Kentucky. And for the second day in a row, guys, looks like you should have a significant advantage when it comes to the starters. So you're throwing Luke Holman, who's been one of the best in the SEC throughout the entirety of this season. And I'm guessing just from looking at the stats here that Travis Smith, again, whitest name possible. Don't know if he's white or not. Whitest name possible, though. That Kentucky is throwing.
I mean, he's white.
Yeah, for sure, probably right. I mean, okay, but whatever. He's got the fourth most innings pitched on the team, so I'm guessing he's maybe their midweek guy, Jake.
Yeah.
35 innings on the year, 35 2/3. Really nothing to write home about here. A 6.06 ERA, a 3-3 record. Opponent batting average 263, only 30 Ks to 20 walks in those 35 innings. So not a high strikeout guy, not a high strike guy in general. Again, the ERA's elevated. Like, I'm liking LSU here, dude. LSU should have the advantage going into this game 100%. You still have Christian Little available as well as the rest of your pen. Like, should LSU be favored? Despite the fact that they're not nearly as good as Kentucky on the year as a whole, but with recent form, as we said, a team ERA of sub-4, 3.11. If you take out that A&M game, Luke Holman on the mound versus Travis Smith, this kind of feels like LSU should be favored.
At least a player that, top 50 starting pitcher coming into the season according to D1 Baseball.
Really?
Number 71 in the MLB draft prospect according to MLB.com. Top 200 2024 MLB draft board in perfect game. So it sounds like we were talking about yesterday, like Thatcher Hurd's like 101.
Yeah.
So it feels like that situation of a guy that can go out there and get it done, just hasn't been able to get it done this year. Because, think about this. If LSU was throwing Thatcher Hurd, and Thatcher Hurd wasn't on the scene last year nationally like he was during the run, Kentucky fans would probably be looking at his stats being like, oh, okay.
Yeah, true.
Even though Thatcher Hurd, has kind of the same things as far as
if it lines up, he could
prospect.
dominate. I mean, I think Hurd could.
Yeah, potentially. It feels like that kind of situation for Travis Smith.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like, when we were looking at Ben Hess a couple of weeks ago, and he has a 7+ ERA, but then you see, he's almost averaging like 2 Ks an inning. You could see that he had some nasty stuff. Nothing about Travis statistically reads like nasty stuff, though. To your point, the rankings there would maybe speak to that. But so whatever, regardless of favor or not, you have a massive advantage on the mound. So here's to hoping that Holman can show up in the same way that Gage Jump did. Here's to hoping that the defense can show up in the same way that they did yesterday, and that this offense can just continue to stack quality at bats. Because like you said, Jake, even with a Bear Jones yesterday who goes hitless, he does have the 2 walks. Guys finding ways to be productive, maybe save for Bingham and Travinsky, even when they just didn't have it.
God, if you could get Bingham's another one. Like if you could get him going.
Bingham feels like the most black hole right now. I mean, you just have no faith.
Well, in the starting lineup, yeah,
that's
for sure.
What I mean.
Now
yeah,
that you just kind of rolled out a different starting lineup.
No faith when he steps up, unfortunately.
And again, that was a player that was all conference, Pac-12 player. Actually, I had Chip Hell, his former head coach, on off campus yesterday, and he was going through some of the losses that they had to be back in this position. He mentioned Mac Bingham. He was a high-level player a year ago. And we've actually seen it in flashes, I think, here this year for LSU, but just not as consistently as we thought. Again, you don't need every one of those players to step up. That's just not going to happen. But if you could just get one of them, one of those players really that we're talking about, the rest of the lineup right now is going so well, it feels like that's what you need.
All right, check out Pinnacle Exterior Construction, y'all. If y'all need any outdoor building needs, if you need a pergola, like you live on the water or something, a bulkhead. But if you need any sort of fence, any size fence, outdoor living area, outdoor kitchens, fully custom pool. In fact, they built one of the most beautiful houses. They won a ton of awards for it over there in Roseanne. I would recommend going to the website and checking it out because you're going to be blown away by the quality of the work that Pinnacle does. And then they also have their spec pools, where if you want to pool ASAP to get ready for summer, have a good time, you select from a number of templates, and then you do a bunch of customization work around the edges. You have a lot of different options, and you make it your own. And again, it's just going to, maybe you've always dreamed of it. Let Pinnacle be the guide. Their quality of work speaks for itself. Again, PECbuilt.com. That's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. PECbuilt.com. Go there today. Look at the gallery, y'all. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, I get it now. Pinnacle. All right. Joe Sloan. 247 had a great piece, kind of asking the question, is Joe Sloan a rising star? And, well, I think the answer would be, in Brian Kelly's mind, absolutely, right? Because let's look at just how wild the move that LSU made this last offseason was, Jake. I teased it as saying, potentially unprecedented. I don't know that I have ever seen a year in which Mike Denbrock, the standing OC, leads the best offense in the country, has a quarterback who wins the Heisman with the most statistically dominant season of any Heisman winner since 1973. And then in the offseason, the head coach says, hey, we want to give this guy a promotion. Would you be willing to share a title? And, at first I thought maybe Denbrock left of his own accord. I have it on pretty good authority that Denbrock was not happy with how things went down this offseason, and that he felt some type of way about him being approached in that way with all of a sudden, like, wait, you're telling me I just led the best offense of all time, and now you're saying you want to give this other guy co-OC title? Like, why would I do that? So and if you're Kelly and company, Denbrock's going to feel that way. So when you make this decision to bump up Sloan and then Hankton, like, you are betting on the young phenom over the old experienced guy. And it's, again, I don't know if it's going to pay off or not, but if you're asking me, is Joe Sloan a rising star? I would tell you it is unquestioned that Brian Kelly believes that he's a rising star.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. You look at the bowl game where he was the offensive coordinator, you had 492 total yards, 395 yards in the air, first time starting quarterbacking Garrett Nussmeier. And that's a nice audition for Joe Sloan and Hankton to go out there and do exactly what they did. But yeah, we all kind of heard Joe Sloan's name and what he meant to not only this offense, but to Jaden Daniels and where Jaden Daniels ended up, which is in New York City, lifting the Heisman Trophy. And this is somebody that, before he got to LSU, he had an opportunity to potentially be a G5 head coach. So, he's only adding to his resume. And, you talk to him, and he doesn't want to do that right now. He doesn't want to be that G5 head coach. He wants to be the offensive coordinator at a place like LSU. And I think, not just a rising star, I think he's kind of even passed that up.
Well, and I think that's, one of the reasons why you also make the move is because probably there's a lot of very loud whispers about him getting poached, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're not going to give this guy a title? We will.
Yeah.
We'll make him OC right now. And so you kind of have to weigh these things. And then also, look, I think keeping Cortez Hankton is massive.
Yep.
I mean, look at the consistency that LSU receivers have achieved in the Hankton era, and I think it's only going to continue into this year. Also, look at the fall off from where Hankton left. What's one of the issues with Georgia right now? What was one of the issues last year? A lack of wide receiver development and just weapons on the outside. Could be the same again this season as well. So I think it's really a dual benefit of being able to give both of those guys titles. It's interesting you mentioned being a G5 head coach, Jake, because I do feel like the math has changed on that somewhat, where if I'm a football coach, what is actually more attractive? Because what does Sloan make? 1.5, 1.8? Somewhere around there? I'm not sure. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's over 1 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you're going to tell me I'm going to get over $1 million in the majority? I still get to do the actual football coaching? I don't have to go shake all the boosters' hands. I don't have to do the NIL fundraising. I got to recruit because, everybody does. But I don't have to do, if you go be a group of 5 head coach, you're not going to be able to really coach anymore. All of a sudden, you got to do all the CEO stuff. It's got to be pretty attractive to just say, okay, you know what? I'm pretty happy and I'm going to be content. Let me just actually coach the football, call the plays, and stay here for a while. And then maybe if I feel that itch, or if I feel like I'm outgrowing it or I want to step up, then do that in the future. But But yeah, the math has definitely changed on that a bit.
Yeah, and Joe Sloan was last year the highest paid quarterback coach in the country at $600,000, but now he is making
1.3.
He is making I see that him and Hankton are both going to be making over $1 million per year.
Okay, so maybe like 1.1.
Right, and you said it, and I'm glad you pointed that out. I mean, what Cortez Hankton brings to this offense as well, and when you have a situation, and we all know this, when you have a situation with Joe Sloan, with Hankton, they have to work well together, or that's not going to work out. And they have shown through them being here together. I mean, I see it all the time when I go across the Ponderosa, but they showed it in the bowl game as well. Like, that is a great combination. And then along with Brad Davis, like, you have to have that alignment if you want to kind of have it like they, like they're going to do the offense this year, where Hankton's going to have, some say. Like, he's going to have a voice in that room when it comes to coming up with the play design.
Well, he better, because again, Hankton's not going to be happy with just a title. Like, he needs agency in this offense. You still got to have a hierarchy where the play caller's the play caller at the end of the day, but you better make Hankton feel valued. I mean, as Emil points out in the chat, he says, boys, don't forget, Hankton was catching NFL interviews for OC gigs. So, yeah, like, you have two supremely talented guys there. And if you're going to accomplish your goals this year, we talked about it yesterday, a oxygen-starved SEC, where there's a lot of teams that feel like this is their year to make the 12-team playoff. If you're going to break through that tier of Ole Miss, Mizzou, Tennessee, who else did we put in there? Am I missing anyone, or is that it?
You say Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama in there as well. We kind of put them maybe in like their own little middle portion.
I did
yesterday. You didn't do. I thought that's what we agreed on yesterday.
I've got Alabama there with Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, Tennessee.
Okay,
like I got a huge lump right there. Now, I mean, you could maybe place them in different spots in that tier.
I have the Georgia, Texas. I have Alabama kind of in a gray area, and then I have those other
if
ones.
I had any of those teams in the gray area, it would probably be Ole Miss more than Alabama for me.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. But anyway, very competitive SEC. If you're going to accomplish your goals and maybe make that playoff, Sloan and Hankton going to be massive.
And this staff was put together and given a lot of money, offense and defensively, right, to improve the X's and O's. Now, more defense. I mean, the X's and O's were I think they were okay last year on offense. But, I mean, you give pay raises to Joe Sloan, a slight raise for Cortez Hankton as well. Like, he was set to make $950,000.
Yeah.
I mean, this year,
to give you an idea of how good of a wide receiver
and so
coach is.
He's going to make over $1 million, and so you've done that. But also, like, the money you spent on the defensive staff, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're not spending in NIL. Well, no, like, they still spent some, but they put their resources into this defensive staff because they saw what a poorly coached defense can look like in the SEC.
Yeah.
Right? You can have all the Jimmies and the Joes in the world that you want. You can have guys like Mason Smith who ended up being a second-round pick, and we were all surprised because of what the play looked like, but it was more probably in the coaching that he was receiving or the lack of coaching.
So the NFL is telling you.
The NFL is telling you this guy's still a second-round defensive tackle. And so they said, hey, we're going to put $10 million whatever dollars into the defensive staff, and that's where we are going, to try to create this foundation of getting back on track defensively.
So, look, again, is Joe Sloan a rising star? I would say unequivocally both him and Cortez Hankton are rising stars, but still have to go prove it. Still have to go prove they can reload that wide receiver room. They still have to prove that they can replace a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. And with a defense that should be improved, but still not the strength of this team, they still have to. The offense still has to prove that they can be the engine that can drive you to 10 wins and a 12-team playoff. All right. When we get back, I've got maybe a quick running back thought on LSU, Jake, that I never considered before, and I really mean quick here. And then I still want to talk about Ingrid Lindblad. We got to get to Saints OTA day one. We got the game coming up here in an hour. Again, if you missed it, Luke Holman taking the mound against Travis Smith. Statistically, it seems like you have a very big advantage, even though it is the number one team in the country, Kentucky. So we'll see. More OTB coming up next. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com is the website for All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. How about that? You go see them today, very conveniently located off of Airline in Goodwood. If you just want to go in and check out the selection that they have, maybe get in an accident. If you're looking for a body shop, service center, All-Star Toyota. Insurance claims are welcome. All makes and models, okay? Anybody's welcome. Get a free professional estimate, excellent lines of communication, rental cars there on site, shuttle service there on site. Check them out. Also, Toyota Baton Rouge, also ToyotaBatonRouge.com.
And as we told you in the first hour of the show, it is not too late to get that rental for your summer vacation. Now, you can buy new, you can lease, everything's available there, obviously. But in the rental department, like everything being available there, you're just not going to find that anywhere else. So if you need a truck, multiple trucks. If you need a midsize SUV, multiple options there. Full-size SUV, Sienna van, hybrid, whatever it is for your vacation, they have got you covered. Go check it out all online. Their website, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The best.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We'll recap LSU-Kentucky from the SEC tournament and day 2 of Saints OTAs. We'll have the latest. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You've been looking for love all around the world. Baby, don't you know this country girl still.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, hour away from first pitch. I just sent a booty call text to Ben McDonald, so fingers crossed maybe he could come on.
You up?
Basically. Probably not, because Ben works like 24/7, and I should have thought about it earlier, so that's on me. But somebody in chat said, I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
I used to have Ben every week.
Yeah, I mean, I approached him about it at the beginning of the year. It's too crazy with his Orioles and SEC. I mean, he barely did any SEC this year.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, there was a slot kind of opened up, and that's why you saw Jay Mitch kind of be able to slot there in the middle of the year, because I think and I think Berkey went to more national college baseball and also some MLB stuff. And so, like, typically you wouldn't add a media member in the middle of the year, but that's when that spot opened up. And yet another LSU Tiger covering SEC baseball. That's now Ben, Todd, and Jay Mitch. And then DeLucci lives here, so another Baton Rouge guy.
And another Baton Rouge guy in DeLucci. Yeah, I mean, and it seems like Ben's basically just full-time Orioles now as well. How are the Orioles doing? They're supposed to be good this year. I don't know.
A good young team. One of the more exciting teams.
I know. I would have been into him if I hadn't fallen in love.
Oh, your Cubbies beat my Bravos 4-3 last night.
I know. I told you about it. Remember?
No,
I was texting you.
Definitely did not. But I was watching the basketball game more intently. So
Orioles are 29-16.
Yeah, we will not. Oh, nice. We will not put a number on it. But Jake had an absolutely insane win in Pacers Celtics last night that would not have won had the game not gone to overtime.
Like Jaylen Brown, if I see you in public, I'm just going to kiss you on the forehead and say thank you.
Okay, so that's your most kissable male celebrity.
There you go, yeah. Right on the forehead.
It's a lot of beard to get through, but sure.
That's not on the forehead. Go forehead, though.
What?
That's a lot of beard. You got to go forehead. A lot of beard.
With the win you had, you should kiss him on the lips. Like, what are you scared of? Yeah, what are you scared of? Come on, get out of here.
Look, I don't have a list ready to go like you did yesterday, okay?
Well, it wasn't really ready. It was just thinking about Austin Butler's. It was just thinking about Austin Butler's lips in Dune 2. E-Dub says, T-Bub, have you watched any of the Terrence Howard interview on Joe Rogan? I did. I saw like one clip, and Terrence Howard was talking about the periodic table of elements and sound, and I did not understand.
Wait.
I did not understand.
Am I thinking of the right Terrence Howard?
Hustle and Flow Terrence Howard.
Like you're talking about
from
periodic table?
The original War Machine.
Empire, right? He's in that too.
Yes. I
The what, Jake?
War Machine.
He was War Machine Marvel
the original
before Don Cheadle took over.
Yeah.
No, that Terrence Howard. So, no, I can't speak on it yet, E-Dub, although that would be some perfect flestering conversation. Maybe we can get there next week.
Where is he?
He told me last week he was out this week.
It is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. You know, anytime we get in like to summertime situations, I'm like, I don't really know, which is a problem with the trash pickup unless you got Trash Rangers and get weekly text emails. I know we'll talk about them later, but like days of the week in the summertime, no idea.
No, and summer's here. Last day of school for a lot of people yesterday.
Did y'all see that Aaron Rodgers thing I sent last night in the group chat that he passed up being the vice presidential candidate for Kennedy to continue to be the quarterback?
I mean, I remember. So this is what's funny to me about that. Like,
everything's funny about it.
Well, that's actually fair. Yes, right. That somebody would utter a sentence of like, well, basically had two options: be the VP, for Bobby, or be the Jets quarterback. But but you know you're not going to win. I think that's what I'm getting at, right? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
If you're
you'd have to step down to be the running mate of a third-party candidate who ain't going to win.
And that's what I'm saying. When you donate to a third-party candidate, when you do any of these things, and I don't want to get into like how just broken the system is that we're forced into, two parties, whatnot, blah, 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 like campaign finance reform, all of that, like whatever. When you are like one of the people on that team or donating, or do you really think you're going to win? Like, do you actually have that belief, or are you doing it out of principle to say, I think this is wrong, and so I'm just going to support my guy publicly? Because there's no, like Aaron Rodgers is telling you it was a choice. Now he said between being vice president with Bobby or playing quarterback. No. It was a choice between, like Taylor said, running for fun, for funsies.
And retiring
from football, or finally getting the opportunity in New York that you signed up for a full year ago.
Yeah,
it's not much of a choice to me.
I don't know anything about Kennedy other than I just see him on Twitter, like promoted all the time. I just all the time. Like, is he on y'all's as well?
Well, that would not as much, but that would kind of make sense with X and libertarianism.
Was he running? Is
and
he running
everything.
for as an independent?
Yeah, I think it's probably a
like with me.
libertarian.
Okay, well, I'm registered independent. Would that be why? Maybe.
That would not
They
be
found
why.
out-
They
okay,
probably
because he's
found
all
out.
over
I
my
watched-
Twitter page.
he
I don't
had
even know
a-
like anything about him. I just know I see him a lot on Twitter.
He had an interview with a crazy voice. He had an interview with Theo Vaughn that I watched, and like I couldn't even really get through the interview. I watched it all in pieces, but his voice is just so unsettling that like I couldn't.
It's probably why Rodgers likes him. Rodgers a weird dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
I
who
think
you are. You're not going to win if you're an independent.
It's the anti-vax.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? You're not
Yeah,
gonna.
no.
So I when Aaron tells me like it was a choice between vice president or quarterback, it wasn't really. It was a choice.
It was a choice
nothing.
between retiring and not retiring.
Yes, exactly.
I decided to not retire, is what he said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to break. When we get back, then I'll get to my running back thought, and we'll give Ingrid Lindblad her flowers as well, which we should have continued to do for years, but Lindblad achieving the highest personal honor in her sport, and it's kind of a reflection of how hot LSU is overall right now. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. Go to CentralPlumbing.org today, guys. And look, take advantage of 50 years of experience, flat rate pricing, great warranty coverage once the work is done. And if you're getting a new water heater, okay, and you got some sticker shock looking at the quote, call Central Plumbing. Let them look at it. Okay? They're honest. They're local. And they promise competitive pricing. So if you're somewhere else and you don't like what you're hearing, hit up Central Plumbing and let them give you a better deal.
And when you hear Central Plumbing, don't just think we're talking about Central. We're talking about Baton Rouge. We're talking about this entire area, right? I mean, they've helped me in my houses, multiple houses in Baton Rouge. They've helped T in Baton Rouge. Like, they service this entire area. It is not just Central. So make sure you give them a call today if you have that emergency. 225-925-8552, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
Sandgrove, join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Roca Pizzeria. LSU baseball will be going on alongside the show, so be with us along with Scott Rabelais, Wes Reynolds, and professional handicapper Randy McKay. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Wednesday, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Lived down a dirt road. He made homemade wine like nobody I know.
Welcome back. You can keep it playing for a little bit if you want, Alondra.
Got a little girl waiting on me and I wanna trade her ride. He said, I got what you need.
This is top 10 for me growing up.
It's a good one.
Core memories to this song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like high school partying?
Not even high school, like just with my parents, with my brothers, like pool in the backyard, like dad on the grill.
It does have that feeling.
Mom putting it on the radio.
On the bottom.
Yeah. Traveling to like youth baseball games, you know, like remember hearing this song on the way to the park.
Adam Field says the country throwbacks are rocking my face, y'all. Yeah, Alondra's very good on the music.
Jake started it.
I just think I gave
You
one.
wanted Neon Moon.
Yeah, and you've hit banger after banger since.
What are y'all talking about ices for in the chat?
I don't know. Somebody asked me my thoughts on ices, and I love icy.
Yeah, peach icy.
What do you mean? They're fantastic.
Wait, like, have you ever
Favorite.
done Coke mixed with cherry icy?
Have you ever done Coke?
Yeah.
What?
Have you done Coke
we
with
talking about
cherry
icy
icy?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Oh,
That's what I'm saying, like,
Coke
have you ever
ices.
done Coke
Yes.
but mixed with cherry icy?
Alondra.
Oh.
Alondra.
Ooh,
I'm
he's
just
about to
asking.
youngin' you.
You gotta get up. You gotta be bored. You gotta have a 19 in front of your birth date if you want to get one over it.
I do.
Okay, my bad.
I was going to say, I'm 96. I'm pretty sure she's in the
What are you,
Relax.
99, 98?
Relax.
98.
The point is, you gotta have a 19.8 at the front of your birth year if you want to get one over on me when it comes
Really?
to
Because you
Coke
didn't know about.
Ices.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Coke Ices. I'm drinking Coke Ices longer than you've been alive, girl. You don't think I mix it with blue, red, all of it? Yeah, I've done icy suicides. I've done it all.
Really sorry for asking this question.
The best,
thank you.
The best is
He's done
peach.
ices he's done Coke ices in bathroom stalls, guys. Like
I did a Coke and blueberry the other day for Phantom Menace.
Okay.
All right. Favorite flavor of
Jeez.
icy? Like I said, I'm going peach.
Coke
Yeah,
Ice.
Coke, 100%.
Coke Ice,
I'm going
100%.
cherry.
Good, I'm proud of
Cherry.
you, Alondra. I can't with you, Tay. Cherry's a nice addendum. Cherry as the star
Yeah.
of the icy is not the
A Dr. Pepper icy with a cherry on top.
Yeah, it sounds
Pretty
great.
good.
Again, a cherry Coke icy, like
Yeah.
Alondra said.
Yeah, they're good.
Cherry Dr. Pepper, great. Cherry alone, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen peach anywhere outside of the Port City, though.
You can get.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a
No,
peach.
They
I've
got it
never
in
had
Georgia.
peach. Sometimes you can get some. Well, no, I thought you were talking like a freestyle machine where you could do like a peach water, or a peach Coke, but no peach ice. I've never had a peach
All
ice.
right,
I've never seen one.
I feel like my man Hunt Palmer would know what I'm talking about. Right there off Southern Loop, there's a gas station in Shreveport. First exit, peach icy.
It's just like randomly at a gas, just a random
There's
gas
like
station.
2 or 3 gas stations in the Port City.
Wow.
Yeah. It's orange, as you can expect, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I'm sorry for reacting aggressively, Alondra, but
It's okay.
My favorite part about going to the theater, beyond the spectacle and everything, is popcorn and a Coke icy.
Oh my gosh, it's the best.
It is the best. It is the absolute best.
I just love movie theater popcorn.
I do too.
When
Makes me so happy as soon as the smell hits your
when we
brain.
went and saw Top Gun, I was laughing. We all went together, and we all had popcorn and ices like we were in middle
Yeah.
school.
Because, like, why else do you go to the movies?
That's the way to do it.
You know, I mean, I've never been a big candy guy in the movies. Credit to anybody, you know, I'm not hating anybody who is. Like,
Popcorn and M&M's.
I know a lot of people love popcorn M&M's. A lot of people love.
Goated snack.
I like popcorn and
cookie dough
Raisinets. I know that's psycho behavior, but I love Raisinets.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It is. It's chocolate.
Not.
It's chocolate and salt.
With raisin in it.
I love raisins.
Raisins
though.
are great. What do you mean? Raisins are freaking
No,
delicious.
that's fair. Like
I love Raisin Bran.
I'm not judging you too
still,
hard.
It's still sweet and
but
savory.
it's not the same.
It's still sweet and savory.
Yeah, but you got the texture of the raisin.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's chewy.
A raisin's just a dead grape, guys. It's all a raisin is.
Well, yeah. I guess
I'm
what?
not
I
gonna
like
eat
to
that.
eat dead animals
Why?
too.
You're not gonna eat grapes?
What do you want to eat? A
No, I like
live
grapes.
chicken? You sick?
You don't like raisins?
No, I don't like
That's on
raisins.
y'all.
You love grapes and don't like raisins.
Yeah, because they don't taste the same.
Yeah, raisins are fantastic. So are grapes.
You think a raisin and a grape taste the same, T-Bob?
No. Not
Okay,
at all.
thank you.
But they're both delicious. And I would venture to guess that most people that like one like the other.
I would strongly
Ryan
disagree
says
with that.
Raisinets. Okay, old man.
Okay,
yeah, where you been?
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, it is
But I
old.
was like, that
an
is
old,
very-
That is an
yeah.
old man thing to do.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean that most things I do are old man.
I mean, me too.
Adam Field says, Alonzo, look up Oda Pop popcorn. It's phenomenal. What? I want Oda Pop popcorn.
I love the Boom Chicka Pop, the kettle corn. Boom
I
Chicka Pop.
hate kettle corn.
What? I love
kettle corn popcorn
It
too.
makes my stomach hurt.
You are
It's
the
too
most for having a big personality. You have the most boring.
It's not boring.
Taste when
I've
it comes
arrived
to
he-
food
no,
and
no,
drink.
No, but it's not because I'm not willing to venture out. I arrived here by venturing out. So many years of everything
so.
pizzas, of mega meat lovers pizzas, of mega stuff Oreos. And at a certain point, Jake, you got to get back to the fundamentals, okay? And I appreciate the fundamentals. And so, yeah, you say boring, I say fundamental. I think I'm Japanese in how I find joy in simplicity. There's something to be said for mastering the basics over, like, again, I had something gimmicky the other day that tasted well, but, like, it was that Detroit type pizza with barbecue shrimp poured all over the top. Like, it tasted great. It was tasty, whatever. I'm not mad that I ate it, but it doesn't hold a candle to just a perfectly made slice of pepperoni. Gimmicks are fun, but they are just that. Every championship team's been built on the fundamentals.
Shout out David Lee Murphy.
A tangent.
Didn't know he wrote so many songs. That's who sings this song, by the way, T-Bob. But didn't know he wrote so many bangers.
Bilbo says, Taylor, what's your favorite vegetable? Nos and vodka soaked fruit?
No, so
really
my
drink.
sister one time, she made us like the cooked yellow squash
got-
with the onions.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, so I guess that.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
cooked yellow
I'll go with that.
squash with onions.
What?
Hell yeah. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, delicious.
Hour and 3 coming up next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
RejuveMeMedical.com. Again, we'll eventually give Ingrid her roses, and we will get to the running back conversation, y'all. RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me,
No, we won't,
refuel
'cause
me.
it's
Yes,
almost
we will.
9:30.
Yes, we will. And we've got Saints. Rejuve Me Medical. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You need somebody who is going to make you feel younger, better, stronger, faster, fight the untreated effects of aging. Go into Rejuve Me, now in Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, Monroe as well. Go into Rejuve Me, get your labs drawn, and let your body be the guide, right? Free consultation. Let your body be the guide to customize a plan for you. Maybe it's HRT, maybe it's not, maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's not. You got B vitamins, just to get a plethora, a ton of different treatments to get you, again, your best self and your younger self. So get that energy back, get that confidence back. Be the proud peacock that you once were. RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Yeah, good morning. It's at 9 a.m. here on Wednesday, May 22nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 91. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll talk some New Orleans Saints at OTAs. T-Bob wants to talk running backs. We'll get to Penn State renovating their football stadium, LSU baseball taking on Kentucky in the SEC tournament, and a whole lot more. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now. Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo! What up, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Alondra, and De La Chapelle hanging out with you today. Our number 3. All right, so let's so I don't get distracted here. Shout out Ingrid Lindblad. LSU women's golfer has been one of the most dominant for years now. It feels like 5 years.
I mean, long time.
Yeah, been talking about Ingrid for a long time. Well, yesterday she wins the Annika Award, which is the nation's top Division I golfer. Huge. It is the highest individual achievement that you can achieve in that sport. A massive congratulations to Ingrid Lindblad. What I think is crazy now is that means in a single calendar year, guys, you have had, and I'm just going to call them the Heisman because I feel like that's how people understand what award we're talking about. You have basically won the Heisman in football, gymnastics, and women's golf. You have had the 3 highest performing individuals in those entire sports all in the same calendar year. It is insane the success that LSU is having as an athletic department right now. And so much of that goes back to Scott Woodward and what he's building here. It was actually one of kind of the main themes when I was at the TAF event last week on the coaches panel, is just what an unprecedented era of good we're in terms of all of these teams being competitive.
And that's coming off the heels of having the Golden Spikes winner as well. I mean, I know you're not going to have it this year, but you had it
true.
a year ago.
I didn't think about that.
So it's a very healthy athletic department. And I love it because in Ingrid Lindblad, shout out to you. I mean, every time we did headlines, like, you were in it. Didn't matter what the day was. Like,
every time.
She was in it. There's so much pressure if you're not great. And I love that. Some people might not. I love it. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not pulling your weight, they are going to look elsewhere. And they're going to bring somebody in that is going to do it. Now, level of success means something different in different sports. Like for LSU soccer, like I was talking with Scott about, he's like, we weren't a postseason team. Now we're making the postseason, right? Now, championships aren't here yet, but that's a team that is continuing to rise. And then for like baseball, like it was, hey, we need to win a championship. For women's basketball, we need to win a championship. And so like everything has different levels, but all of it needs to be going in an upward direction. And for the most part, like it is. Even men's basketball, think of the growth they had this year, right? And so, I mean, if you're a sport that is not carrying your weight here in this athletic department, you better start soon or they'll find somebody that will.
And it's tough because I know there's sometimes I feel a bit of guilt because I know there's so much hard work and so many good stories taking place that we don't give shine to, like whether it's tennis, swimming. I mean, women's track and field, we barely talked about winning the SEC championship. So it's just like there's so much good that it's like, how do you make time for it all? What we're going to do is Taylor and Alondra, y'all have to do a weekly segment updating us on all the great things that LSU athletics have done. So it won't be daily, but we're going to do it once a week. So y'all get on that, and I'm not going to do anything. I'll just react. Great. Awesome. No more work for me.
Wednesdays?
Fridays,
Thursdays?
Wednesday sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really don't have any planned segments on Wednesdays. We have flustering, but that's
very hit or miss.
40,
that's like a 40% segment.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, shout out Ingrid Lindblad. Shout out LSU Athletics. That's awesome. Jake, I want to talk about the LSU running backs, and we'll get to Saints next. But I want to talk here because I don't know that we've mentioned this. We talk all the time about how incredible this offensive line is, best in the country. And we talk about what it means for Garrett Nussmeier, and it's massive. But, like, bro, if you're Caleb Jackson, Caden Durham, or Josh Williams, like, you must take advantage of this. Like, is this unfair to say? You will literally never run behind a better O-line than what you have this year. And the reason is because, because if you make it to the NFL, your O-line is going to be way more on an equal playing field compared to the defense than what you're going to deal with this season. Like, you will never run behind a line that is better than the opponent, as better than the opponent by as much of a gap as what you'll see this year. And I always think about you talking about getting to run behind Andrew Whitworth just for like a few carries at the Peach Bowl and stuff, right? Like, that's what these cats get in Emory Jones and Will Campbell and Garrett Dellinger and Miles Frazier. And again, I think that DJ Chester is going to be great there. But like, yeah, we just don't, I guess we never really thought about it. But if you're a running back, take advantage because you are being given huge advantages here.
Without question. And you're right. Like, the one time I got to run, stretch lead behind Andrew Whitworth, I'm like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, no disrespect to the bomb squad, but the bomb squad was young, right? They weren't ready for that moment. And it does change your reads. It changes your confidence in carrying the football. It also allows you to trust your keys more than you normally would because you're not expecting someone to leak through. You're expecting Will Campbell to be able to get to the edge if it's supposed to be outside zone, and that's what your key is telling you, where the football should go, and you don't have to worry about somebody coming loose at the last minute and you being wrong and reading your key. And so if I'm one of these running backs, and also it's no longer going to be inside zone only. Like, it's going to be inside zone, outside zone. You're going to see some gap scheme with power and counter and some different runs. They've already said that. And why would you not? Why would you not have those runs that's playing to your strength? You had the nation's best offensive line. I want everything up and available. And I understand why
and it helps them. It helps them be
absolutely.
even better if you make them a bit more unpredictable.
And I understand why you were a mostly inside zone team a year ago because you had Jaden Daniels and you had some of the zone runs where he could pull it. He could go 85 yards against the Florida Gators. Okay, Garrett Nussmeier's athletic, but he ain't 85 yards against the Florida Gators.
No.
Your running game is going to have to change, and you're going to have to make up for that production that Jaden Daniels takes to the NFL. He's a third leading rusher in the conference last year. And so Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, you mentioned Durham as well. Those three backs, the best part about it, they're all three different backs.
True.
And so it gives you the opportunity to, run some different schemes with different running backs, as long as you don't fall into tendencies like we talk about often here. But it is three different running backs that have three different skill sets. And so the running game should be a running game just by the X's and O's portion of it that looks completely different and has way more available to you. And I think you should take full advantage of it because it's a great point, T. You're running behind an offensive line that is probably going to be the best one that you've ever had in front of you and the best one you'll ever have in front of you, because you have right now, I think without question, you have 4 pros. Now, different levels of pros, but I think Will Campbell and Emory Jones right now, they're fighting to be first-round picks. Will Campbell, top 5 pick.
Yep.
I think Garrett Dellinger is somebody that will play a long time in the NFL.
Yeah, he'll definitely be I don't know about definitely. In my mind,
I think he will
feels
be.
like a 3rd, 4th round pick. I don't know.
And he feels like somebody's going to be a swing center guard for a
he
long
can do
time.
It all. Yeah, he's done it all here.
Miles Frazier will get a chance. Now, DJ Chester, we don't know just because he's young, but this is an NFL offensive line in college football. And so you're Josh Williams, right? You are the guy that's going to be counted on. You're the 3rd down back. You're the best pass protector, all of that. But Caleb Jackson as well. This is somebody that if he can hold on to the football and pick up pass protection when asked to do it, he's not going to specialize in it, but just when he's asked to do it. But more importantly, hold on to the football and use your running style. Caleb Jackson, we could look up and he could be an 800-900-yard rusher in the SEC.
And again, it is the best O-line you'll ever run behind. I don't think you're ever going to have a better opportunity. So just take advantage. A little food for thought. Okay, I want to get to the Saints next, but we'll close out this segment with one more kind of random story here. Shout out Herb Jones. Finally getting his love, man.
Finally.
First team all defense. The only non-center to get first team honors, as Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, and Wemby were the others. But look, Herb, he's been doing. Actually, Taylor, you see that video in there? Do your job. It's probably. I'm just kidding.
Do your job.
It's not. I'm just messing with Taylor. I did not tell anybody that I was going to do this here.
You told me right before the break that you were going to call for that video and that Tay had to have it ready to go.
No, that's not true. I'll have Taylor's back here. But this is actually, I love this highlight package. This is all of Herb's 15 3-point blocks here as he led the Pels to steals with 105. He had 62 blocks of the year. Again, 15 of which come of the perimeter, which is so rare in the NBA. And it really epitomizes everything Herb is about, which is all-out effort, a 7-foot wingspan, incredible closeout ability, just really fantastic. So shout out Herb Jones, dude. One of the best contracts, one of the best players on this entire Pelicans team.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I think he gives you so much flexibility in who he can guard and when you ask him to do it. And honestly, I'd like to see him on the other team's best player more times than we saw maybe in the postseason. It's like, hey,
True.
This guy's first team all defense. His length kind of gives him an advantage over most people, like all guards and most small forwards and even power forwards, right? Because he can really do a lot of different things for you, and he's a key piece of what you want to be moving forward. And it's what makes the Pelicans so intriguing is you do have a lot of the pieces you have to be that playoff team that makes a deep run and just feels like they're one move away. And if they get the move right, it feels like they could be the next Oklahoma City Thunder who a little bit come out of nowhere to be their number 1 seed.
Again, if Zion could stay healthy, which he did this last year until he didn't. But if you get a little lucky there, well, yeah, I agree with you. You Brandon Ingram represents enough of a piece where I think you could get what you need to get across that finish line. Though it does feel like Ingram's time here is certainly done, right?
It does feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, Tay, would you agree? I know you follow the NBA.
Yeah.
Alondra Wemby sucks. All right, let's.
That's just not true.
I know. I wish it was.
Also,
but
Anthony Davis making first-team All-NBA was
I'm like,
probably the surprise of the
play,
list.
but I think he did play this year. Didn't he make like 70 games this year or something?
Yeah, but
I've watched a lot of Lakers basketball, not by
I don't
choice,
think he's
just
that good of a defender
because
to be
they're
first
always
team,
on.
yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah, I don't get that one either. And
But
that's not hate or bitterness or any of that. Because if he was deserving, I'd be like, God.
He was first team when he was with the Pelicans as well. I mean, he was
right. But I'm saying I don't think it hadn't been that level in a while for me personally.
Look,
watching him.
If I feel still again, that man strawberry wine me. Okay, I feel like yeah. I got. If you're gonna tell me that I need to be disappointed in Anthony Davis or hate on him, I will hate. That I still think about. That's all, folks. After all we went through.
Did you see the Alex Caruso tweet yesterday? He was reacting to the second team All NBA or All Defense, and you just mentioned like all big men, and then Herb Jones. It was 5 guards, and he goes, "Cool, all the big men are first team, and all the guards are second team."
I mean, yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Like logically, that probably doesn't make sense. I feel Caruso, but shout out Herb being the only one to break through. All right, when we get back, let's talk a little New Orleans Saints. We had a first OTA yesterday. What are the big takeaways? Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Get Gordon and get it done. 888-88-88.
I think there's something there.
And throw some hate to the big insurance companies that are going to try to stop you from getting what you deserve. So you get in an accident, you need somebody who's going to fight for you. That's Gordon McCurdy Injury Attorneys. They handle a variety of different cases. Their resume speaks for itself. You can go to getgordon.com and look up real results from satisfied customers. Also follow them on social media at GetGordon. We got great content with your favorite athletes, members of the G Team. Gordon, LSU Golden Age. Gordon's a big reason why. Get Gordon, get it done today.
Go to the website to see what they can do for you in the courtroom. GetGordon.com. Past client results, cases they can handle, consultation get set up on the website. You can get a question answered on the website. You can always pick up the phone in Louisiana, like T-Bob said, your area code, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're the de facto post-game show again. LSU and Kentucky from Hoover. We'll take a look at the NCAA tournament bubble and What If Wednesday. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. We're just a few minutes away. Jay Mitch and Alyssa Lang on the SEC network right now. Jay Johnson was just on there. Our Time Lord, my king. Oh, captain, my captain. God, I'm trying to work up some emotion for Kentucky. I hate Kentucky! But they're just so irrelevant in every aspect of life that I'm struggling to get there. Kentucky. Lucky to be here. Gonna get Kentuckied by Tommy White today.
Popeyes is better than KFC.
What's Kentucky's head baseball coach's name?
Nick Mangione.
Mark Stoops.
Mark Stoops got Kentuckied by Nick Mangione because Kentucky's now a baseball school.
Yeah, but Mark Stoops did get Cal out of town.
Yeah. And I'm sure all Wildcat fans definitely thought that's the way they were going to go. That Mark Stoops was going to outlast Calipari.
Football school.
No, they're a baseball school now. Again, Kentucky. Anybody am I missing one? Is there any other out there that we're not touching on?
Not radio friendly.
Kentucky? Right?
No.
Like
You're reaching.
Yeah.
No, like
Leave it.
Just stop.
Leave it. You're reaching really hard right now.
They're so scared you might as well call them Kentucky.
No.
From Rugrats.
Nope.
Because Chucky was always scared in Rugrats.
Nope.
Now, if you got to explain it that deep,
you're doing way too much.
I'm about to open up that staff like it's an oyster, a.k.a. Kentucky.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Let me between those legs,
nope.
Nick.
Okay.
Nope.
And let me Ken.
No. I will go to break right now. I will go to break right now.
More like Kentucky, because they can't win today. Kentucky. Anyway.
Nope.
New Orleans Saints had OTAs yesterday, and there were some interesting things on display, or as interesting, I think, as OTA day one can be.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So you asked Nick yesterday about Alex Horvath. I thought
No.
Oh, that's not how it happened?
He told me.
Oh.
And I don't know who Alex is, but Zach Horvath.
Xander Horvath. Very close to Alex.
Is it Zach or Xander or Alex? Okay.
Very close to Alex.
Who's Alex Horvath?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, whatever.
His brother.
But he did tell me, like, he did mention him to us. He got drafted by the Chargers, by the way, a couple years ago.
He said that he was, that's right. He went out of his way to say he was actually interested to see Horvath move. And I thought that was ridiculous and pandering to you. But then it was rightfully pointed out that if Kubiak is, bringing Shanahan, well, fullback's key. But after day one, is Taysom Hill actually your use chick? As gone, apparently, are the days in which Hill will be taking any reps with the quarterback room. Not to say, or excuse me, like practicing traditional quarterback. Not to say you won't still have packages where you line him up back there, but remember, in the Pete Carmichael age, he was still doing some traditional quarterback practicing. It does not appear that will be the case anymore. And if you think about the most multifaceted weapon on this team, I mean, he may be the most multifaceted weapon in the entire NFL. And he seems to only be getting better with age and time. It's that Mormon living is got him just getting, kind of defying age because he defies all the vices that so many of us engage in. So the question is, Jake, is it Horvath or is it kind of Taysom Hill who you feel is maybe that extra special piece that Juszczyk represents for the Niners?
Okay, so I actually think that they'll use Taysom in the correct way because I just think they've had so many different weapons with the 49ers. They found a way, but I don't know that it's going to be the Juszczyk role. Maybe it is, but Juszczyk is a lot. I mean, he does as much at like the tight end position as he does at fullback.
Yeah, Taysom can catch, but he can't catch like Juszczyk can.
I just don't know if he can also like inline block like Juszczyk does as well.
True. That's definitely true.
But that's not to say that you can't have a special role. Again, like think about the weapons like Juszczyk and Deebo Samuel and the way that they've moved guys around in different pieces. Even Jennings at the receiver position, they do some different things with him. And so I do expect them to actually be creative and put him in the right role for not only him, but for the offense to thrive. But I don't think you don't re-sign and sign another fullback unless you have a plan for them. I think there's going to be a plan for the fullback position just because they utilize it so much.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't mean that you can't blend Horvath and Hill together in this role to create a Juszczyk.
And so, and again, you're right. Doing one-to-one comps is unfair because Juszczyk is singular and Taysom's singular. Like, they are not the same. But the point is, I think the overall takeaway should be gone are the days of treating him like a real quarterback. You're going to really lean into it, and it's really nice to get some fresh eyes like a Kubiak on a hill and say, okay, here's what I think we can do with him and how we can manufacture matchups and exploit said matchups. We had a Trevor Penning sighting, guys. So how about this? Fuaga working at left tackle, Trevor Penning working at right tackle. So the line as it stood on OTA day number 1, Talise Fuaga, Nick Saldiveri, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, and then Trevor Penning at right tackle. So going with the ones.
That's good. I mean, honestly, all jokes aside, like that at least is something that we didn't know where it would stand.
Definitely. And again, I know that what is this? What year is this for Penning? Is this just this year 3?
This is 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
I know for Penning, it feels like that story's always been written, but I am a firm believer that sometimes we don't allow guys to develop, and it's not that he's going to develop it into anything great, but maybe he can develop into something solid still. And so hearing is at least with the ones here to start, hopefully he can carry that through. I don't need him to be great. I just need something out of him. And it seems like you could potentially get that. You want to talk about pressure? How about Fuaga, though? Not only are you having to immediately step in to left tackle, but you're already replacing the guy who was you 2 years ago. And you're going to be and you have even more pressure on you not to fail because he failed.
There's no question about that. Like, that's already in his mind.
Yeah.
Like, he already has heard those stories. Like, they've already probably talked about that with him. I mean, you get out in front of something like that. So, like, there's going to be pressure, but just hearing from his mindset and hearing, from his college career, it does give you faith that he's able to handle that. And one of the things that when you do a breakdown of who he was coming out from Oregon State was his mental toughness.
Yep.
And so him understanding that is going to go a long way. And for Trevor Penning, if he can give you something at right tackle, like, that's going to help his confidence as well. Can he do it? I don't know, because you're going to have the other team's best rusher line up across from you. We thought maybe more guard, but if he can play right tackle and if he can be middle of the pack in the league, I mean, we're talking about a completely different outlook for the Saints team. Trevor Penning is going to have a lot to say with how good the Saints team is.
That's true. That's true, because the O-line's probably the biggest swing position on this team, and he's probably the biggest swing player on the O-line. Other OTA notes, Nathan Peterman was in a calf wrap, meaning the depth chart went Derek Carr, Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler. So some early important 3 reps for Rattler that maybe he would not have gotten otherwise. I don't think anything else in terms of who was absent. You did not see Ryan Ramczyk, Chase Young, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Stanley Morgan Jr., Nathan Shepard, Tano Passanio, Nathan Latu, Jalen Ford, Nephi Sewell out there. Kool-Aid McKinstry was on a bike. And Marshawn Lattimore is not out there. But do we have sound on this? I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot. Dennis Allen said yesterday that Marshawn Lattimore, Jake, will be a part of the 2024 roster. So unequivocally, Allen getting out ahead of it and saying, okay, we have made it through the other side, and we're not moving Marshawn Lattimore.
And I think that makes sense because we talked about it. I mean, what's a 4th-round pick going to really do for you?
Yeah, nah.
It's not going to do a whole lot for you. No. What he can bring to your team, what he can bring not only on the field, but just matchups. Like, yeah, his presence on the field is going to help. He's a veteran player, like all those things. But just the matchups of, hey, that's the number one. Like, it's you and Mike Evans. We know the history there, and you're going to shadow him.
Yeah.
It just opens up so many different things for your defense that, a 4th-round pick next year's, I don't care about next year.
No, and and especially the coaches don't when they got to survive this year.
Yes.
But, like, it also gives you injury insurance at that position. You have a lot of depth there and competition, which should produce even better results. Again, between Adebo, Taylor, Lattimore, and now what Kool-Aid McKinstry looks like early on, you could be talking about one of the better cornerback rooms in the entire NFL. Taylor, do you have any takes here before we put a bow on this segment?
I'll go back to the Fuaga at left tackle. I love putting him at left tackle. I think he can do it. You watch his tape in college. He's a super athletic guy. Y'all actually weren't here. It was the day that I was filling in for you guys. It was leading up to the draft. I said, this is the guy I wanted just because I think he can do so much. His versatility, you can move him in multiple spots. I think he can play anywhere on the offensive line outside of center. And if we're being completely honest, the Saints kind of needed everything on the offensive line outside of center. I love that they're working him in at left tackle. I think that he has the potential to do it. If not, if Penning can't do it, Fuaga can go in there at right tackle. You know, he can do it as well. I love this offensive line rotation.
So there you go. OTA day 1 in the books. Of course, it's off-season training activities. And we will continue to break down Saints OTAs as they continue over the summer. Coming up next, I cannot promise much. Kind of feels like the show is about to go awry as we are, about 5 minutes from first pitch here. LSU-Kentucky, day 2 in Hoover. Life is good. If you got a beer, go ahead and grab it. And if your boss gets mad, say, hey, baseball's on TV. I'm pretty sure in America that's allowed. So why don't you test it out in your workplace and get back to me. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Trash Rangers, TrashRangersLLC.com, or you just go to TrashSignup.com if you're in Ascension or Livingston Parish, and you make the switch today in just 3 minutes. You can select your number of cans. You can see your pickup days, all of it, pricing. It's so easy. And, well, if you live in Ascension or Livingston, you're probably looking around and you're seeing more and more of those red cans, and you can just feel the momentum, and that's because so many people are making the switch to a local waste management company that actually gives a damn, that actually keeps the profits here in Louisiana, in the community, that is efficient, that is reliable. But Jake, what if I live in Baton Rouge? What can Trash Rangers offer me?
Those roll-off dumpsters.
Yep.
So if you own a business, looking at you, Matt Flynn, I know you're not here, but we're talking to you.
Where
are you need one of those dumpsters and you own a business, they can bring it to you, right? And so that you can use that service in the Baton Rouge area. And so check all that information out online, TrashRangersLLC.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We'll recap LSU-Kentucky from the SEC tournament and day 2 of Saints OTAs. We'll have the latest. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
As the midnight moon was drifting through.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Seeing what you wanted to see. Darling, don't say a word. I've already heard what your body's saying to mine. You're tired of fast move. You got a slow groove on your mind. You want a man with a slow hand. You want a lover with an easy touch. You want somebody who will spend.
Oh, yo, what's happening, y'all? How about it? How about it? So we got the game on without sound in here right now. We'll turn on the sound after the game after the show ends. But like, we're just kind of sitting here, we're all chatting, and all of a sudden, Lob's like, "Wait a second, did Michael Braswell just hit a leadoff home run?" Yeah, sure enough. How about it, Braswell? Just like we all had it, Braswell. You suck, Travis Smith. I told you. Braswell immediately putting the Tigers up 1-0. Tommy hitting it well, but grounding out there. But how about it, man? So as Taylor pointed out, your 2 home runs of the series now, Stephen Miley and Micah Braswell. Who didn't have that, dude?
Yeah, we all had it on the bingo card.
We got
I
Ben?
had Ben, yeah.
Yeah, shout out the legend, our guy, Ben McDonald, one of the hardest working men in baseball. Constantly doing work. Oh, great hit. Great play by that Kentucky shortstop. Right. Wow. But Ben, you're right. We got to focus. Ben worked with the Orioles all year long, of course. On the call last weekend with Lynn, the best combo in the world. Ben, what's up, brother? How we doing today?
T-Bob, how we doing today, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Feeling fired up, man. It's Hoover. It's fun. It's all-day baseball fun. Yesterday, the Tigers getting a massive win, closing out with that crazy Mississippi State Ole Miss game. Ben, what has been your biggest takeaway watching this LSU team the second half of this season climb out of that 3-12 hole and fight their way to what should be a postseason berth?
Yeah, I think they're in now. I really do. I think the win yesterday against Georgia kind of sealed the deal. They did what they had to do against Ole Miss. They swept Ole Miss, and that's really what they needed to do. And, of course, they won their final 3 series, and I think 3 of their last 4 they won, which, really – and, look, we thought this going in. We knew the first half of that SEC schedule was going to be a gauntlet going through a lot of top 5 teams. And this is a team, and anytime you have as many new players, and that's what LSU had. You got to remember, Tommy White was the only everyday player last year for LSU, and while Jerry Jones and others got some reps last year, they weren't everyday players. So I think it's taken Jay Johnson a little bit of time to try to figure this thing out and give these guys that didn't get a lot of at-bats last year, some playing time to kind of get going. And it's kind of what we thought would probably happen. They kind of feel their way the first half. We hoped the first half was going to be better. It wasn't great, obviously, but second half they really got it going. And the committee really values how you are trending towards the end and what you're doing. And so I felt like LSU had a really good shot after sweeping Ole Miss with 13 wins. And now, of course, you go knock off a really good Georgia team. That should be enough for LSU. But, heck, while they're there, they might as well just keep on winning. They'll have their hands full today against a very good Kentucky team.
Well, and Ben, speaking of kind of figuring things out, Nate Yeske caught a lot of flack early on for how this LSU staff was throwing. But Todd Politz, LSU numbers master, gave it to me today. In the second half of this SEC season, this last 15 games, LSU has a 3.86 team ERA. If you take out the outlier, the 14-run A&M game, which that's kind of questionable logic, but if you take that out, Ben, that goes down to a 3.11 in a year in which Arkansas leads it with a team ERA of 4.1. So, have you ever how is that accomplished during the middle of the season on the mound? How do you show that drastic of improvement?
Well, obviously when Nate came in, obviously he's new this year, and it took him a while to kind of learn the players and what they like to do, and you didn't know what you were going to get from Gates Jump because he was a guy that obviously came off Tommy John surgery and all that kind of stuff, and it took him a little while. I mean, he only had like 16 collegiate innings when he came to LSU after 2 years at UCLA because of Tommy John, so it took him a little while to get going. You kind of knew what you had with Luke Holman. Now there's been, to me, a couple of disappointments in there. Thatcher Hurd, who we all thought, projected as a second-round pick going into the year and was going to have a big year and started off as a Friday night guy, just hasn't performed like you hoped he would, to this point. But, again, I'll take everybody back to last year. You take out Paul Skeens and that pitching staff last year, and this LSU pitching staff was not great last year either, but they found their way when the regionals kind of came around toward the end of the season, and they make this incredible run. So it's a time of the year where forget what you've done so far. Can you get hot? And LSU's certainly been hot on the mound. I think Luke Holman's been outstanding. And some guys in that bullpen are really starting to step up. And I think Jay has done a great job of managing the hot hand and managing that bullpen and getting guys in situations. And he's got a lot of lefties down there, as you know, and so he can really match up late in ball games, and sometimes it just takes a while to get going. I think LSU underachieved in some ways the first half. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but they're certainly finding their way, and they're a hot team. And I'm telling you what, there's not anybody that's going to want to play LSU when you get to a regional because I feel like they're playing their best baseball right now.
And, Ben, I was actually going to start there because you get into a regional, and LSU right now projected to be a 3 seed. And if I'm a 1 or a 2 and I see LSU, the defending national champs, come to town, I'm not in love with that. But also, like when you have a Luke Holman, when you have a Gage Jump, when you have 2 frontline starters, I mean, that kind of – I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but that kind of gives you an opportunity in a regional format to go out there and have the advantage no matter who you're playing both days.
No doubt. I mean, Jay Johnson has said on record, he took a lot of heat for it. We feel like we're one of the best 16 teams in the country. Now they didn't play like that early, but they're playing like it now. And I agree with you. I mean, when you can run out Gage Jump and Luke Holman, 2 guys that are really pitching it well right now, it gives you a chance to have 2 real aces, and that's what they have right now. The offense is beginning to pick up. Obviously, Tommy White, what he did last weekend against Ole Miss. Milam is swinging it really well. Larson, the freshman, I tell you what, he has come out of nowhere the second half of the season. He looks really good. So there's some offensive pieces in there for LSU, and they're scoring just enough runs. And another thing that not many people are talking about, I feel like their defense has gotten better, too. Yes. And it did about this time last year, too. They really cleaned the defense up last year and made this incredible run all the way to the national championship. So Jay's known for doing this, and he's won at Arizona. We know that, went to 2 College World Series, won the national championship last year. He's got a way of rallying his troops when it's mattered the most. And I really feel like if LSU continues on the path that they're on, they're going to be in a pretty good place in the regional, especially, like you said, when you can run out there, Gage Jump and Luke Holman. It gives you a leg up. I love the way Guidry's throwing the ball now. Ackenhausen is a big piece at the back end, too. And so I think they're a very, very dangerous team right now, no doubt about it.
Talking to Ben McDonald here, legend. LSU legend. Obviously, you catch him up with that hot Baltimore Orioles team all year long, working with the SEC as well. What about Griffin Herring, man? Here's a guy who leads the SEC in ERA, and when you find success in the way that Herring has, being that you got to have a guy, and it's kind of not like a traditional closer role because it's not just like, hey, we need one inning. It's generally been like, hey, we need like 3 or 4 shutout innings from you. Is that more physical or mental to be able to accomplish that?
Well, there was some talk about Herring potentially being in the rotation early in the year, and what he does add value. And there's several guys down there that can give you multiple innings, and he's one of those guys, and he seems to get righties out as well as he does left-handers too, and so there's some good pieces down there. And Griffin Herring obviously has been a big part of that and his success that he's had in that bullpen, really pretty much in any role that Jay's put him in this year, and so that's what it's going to take from LSU. It's going to take continued success on the mound for those guys. Because, again, the offense is trending in the right direction. It's not a great offense. What the LSU does best, they hit home runs. We know that. And I think they're 5th in the league in total home runs. So I always give them a puncher's chance because they can blow it out of the ballpark. And when Jared Jones gets going, and he's a guy I like to see get going a little bit more for LSU. But Griffin Herring is a valuable piece down there. There's no doubt about it. Ulloa's been nice in some situations as well. So, look, I mean, I think they're playing as well as anybody's playing right now. Now, this Kentucky, they hadn't played Kentucky this year, and Kentucky's a really good team. And, while I watch Kentucky from a distance, I haven't seen them all year play, but I watch them from a distance. And there's not any really what I call stars or standout players on that team. They just know how to win, And Mingione, obviously the SEC Coach of the Year, he's done a great job. Remember, they came to Baton Rouge last year for a Super Regional and gave LSU everything they wanted last year. They returned a lot of their players. So it's a veteran team. It's got a real shot as well.
Yeah, Ben, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, talking about, some of the guys stepping up in the lineup. Unfortunately, just now, LSU bases loaded, Mac Bingham strikes out. But like Tommy White and how well he's swinging the bat right now, it feels like you need one of Bear Jones or Hayden Travinski to really get hot again because you want that protection for Tommy White because eventually teams are just going to literally stop throwing him anything that's hittable.
Yeah, look, I agree. And look, that was the big talk going into the season. Obviously Tommy was covered up last year. He had Dylan Cruz hitting around him and Joe Bear and others. And so they had to pitch to him. It's not been that so much this year at times. It's kind of like Charlie Connon over at Georgia. Why would you pitch to him if you don't have to, right? But that's why you got to get the guys behind him and in front of him going a little bit where he's going to see some pitches. And Tommy's as talented as anybody. And you guys have been watching like I have. We knew he could hit. He hit in his first 2 years, one at NC State and one at LSU, drove in 105 last year, led the nation in RBIs last year. Having said that, he's a guy that can carry a team, and when he gets high, but you got to get him in situations where teams can actually pitch to him more often, And so it's going to be up to Jared Jones to make a little bit of noise because when you can pitch around Tommy White, you got to do it. But I'm happy for him because his defense, to me, has really taken 2 steps forward this year.
Yeah,
he's
crazy.
gone from a guy that was projected probably late first round because the defense wasn't quite up to par with what the offense was. But now with the turn of the defense on the side of the ball for him, he really has a shot, I think, to be a mid-first round draft pick. And the last projection I saw is Tommy White's moved up the draft board a good bit because he's been healthy with the arm. He had that surgery in the offseason.
Yep.
And look, he's been really good over there on defense. And that's a point from LSU that's got to continue on because they got to play defense. I think Braswell's cleaned it up at shortstop. He made a lot of errors early in the year, which is not like him. I mean, he came over here as more defense over offense. Obviously, he's leading off and having his best year as a college guy from an offensive standpoint, but his defense has gotten better too. And the little water bug over at second base, Milam, just continues to perform. I love that dude, man. He's
awesome.
Gritty, he's small, he's like a little water bug, but for a true freshman, y'all, he's getting it done, man. He's getting it done for a true freshman. So again, I like where LSU is. I'm happy for Jay Johnson. I don't care what the committee says. I think LSU's done enough with their quad 1 wins and the way they finished the season. No matter what happens this point forward, I think LSU's an NCAA team, no doubt.
Ben, I'm glad you mentioned Milam there because the last one for you before we let you go, and we always appreciate the time. Milam is somebody that burst onto the scene. He was thriving at the beginning of the year, and then he did hit a rut. Not many times do you see the freshman hit the rut and be able to come out on the other side, but he is doing that now. He's thriving again. That kind of speaks to the ball player he is because typically when a freshman kind of goes away, and we saw it with Bear Jones last year, you don't really see them again. That is like that's some high-level stuff for Milam to be able to bounce right back.
No, and look, Jay tells a story that in fall ball this past year, he said Milam was totally overmatched. And he said, I questioned a lot of things about him, and I gave him some things to go work on while he was home for Christmas break. And he said, Ben, when he came back to begin the season in the spring, and that 2-week workout they had before the season began, he said he was a different dude, you know. And he said, I had him penciled in not to do much for us this year after his fall, but then I realized he changed my mind, had a chance to be a big, be an impact player for us. And he's done that. And you're right. It's very rare a freshman gets off to a rough start a good start, then he struggles down in the middle part of the season. But he found his way, man. I tell you what, it goes for his resiliency and his mental makeup for a young guy. It's off the charts.
Ben McDonald, legend, hardest working man in baseball. Ben, thank you so much, man. How's Baltimore, man? Everything all good?
Yeah, man, we're in St. Louis, and so we got delayed last night, and then we actually got canceled. So we're going to resume play at 11:15 local time today, and then play another game right behind that one. So it's going to be a long day, but I'm going to have the iPad on. I'll be checking out the Tigers and the SEC tournament and keeping up with everything as I get ready for a regional of the following weekend.
And look at this, man. He still made time when I shot him a last-minute text. Come on, you're the man, Ben. Thank you so much, sir.
Anytime, guys. Enjoy it. Thanks, care.
Ben.
Yes, sir. Legend, Ben McDonald. I mean, just great perspective every time he comes on, man. How he keeps up with it all, I have no idea. How you can keep up with all of the majors. By the way, during the interview, LSU loads the bases with 2 outs, ton of quality at-bats, quality eyes. Mac Bingham walks up.
A lot of carrots and just for nothing.
I mean, what did it say? I can't remember the number, but one.
It was like $1.70.
It was like, no, I don't even think I thought it was like 140. Yeah,
yeah, it was $1.49.
149 with runners.
Position.
I mean, bruh. Mentioned him feeling like the last black hole. Like
that is.
God, that hurt, dude.
That is the bugaboo of this.
You had a
LSU
chance to
team.
just shatter Travis Smith right off the bat.
Yeah.
Come on. Bear Jones. Okay, we gotta go to break. Go to break. Close the show next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Coleman Roof and Construction. ColemanRoof.com. Most reliable, the most respected, the most complete. Roofing company in Louisiana. Look at Jay's face. Coleman, I guess it's always Jay's face. Still funny though. You go to Coleman today. You need any. It's tough to redo this read. They're the best. Look, bottom line, it's anywhere, it's any type of roof, it's any size project. Go look at the reviews. It's an incredible culture. It's a do everything they can to serve their customer culture. It's the construction portion of it where they're not just fixing the roof. They have, like, if a tree falls on your home, they'll rebuild it as well. You get water in there, they'll repair the water damage to the drywall and whatnot, then fix the roof. They're the best. Your one-stop roof and shop, ColemanRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Roca Pizzeria. LSU baseball will be going on alongside the show, so be with us along with Scott Rabelais, Wes Reynolds, and professional handicapper Randy McKay. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Wednesday, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Last night I dug your picture out from our old dresser drawer.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I've been sitting alone, digging up bones.
Then I went through the jewelry and I found our wedding rings. I put mine on my finger and I gave yours a fling. Across this lonely bedroom
What up, y'all?
of our recent broken home. Yet
Tonight I'm sitting alone,
I'm digging up bones. God, sounds good.
Does.
digging up bones.
Digging up bones.
Exhuming things that's better left alone.
Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizio Telter, and Blue Moon Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Hit the like button, y'all. Most famous person you have the phone number of in your phone right now?
Ben McDonald.
Oh, yeah. No, actually.
No, I don't know. Probably Ben.
Peyton Manning?
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I think you got a speed.
It's very famous.
I feel like you have one.
Maybe hidden. I used to have Adam Devine's number, but I
good
don't
one.
think it's. But it's definitely not.
Man, it's still, but you had it.
I had it
Yeah.
at a time.
Digging up bones.
I think I have one of the Suicide Boys numbers.
There you go.
That's the
Yeah,
bench.
honestly, probably Ben.
Can we add a live sports segment to 9:30 every day? Yeah, I wish, right? That'd be great.
God, that'd be awesome.
Or would it
Oh,
if you had
wait.
it every day?
Where do you like at the end?
Yeah.
I didn't know we went that long in the other one.
Yeah, we
Digging
did.
up bones. Look,
that's
into
on
the
us.
show. I mean, what's better, Ask the Bench or
I mean,
Ben
I-
McDonald talking LSU baseball?
I don't care. I
don't care about this segment as much.
I was just saying.
And I got to
didn't
hear Randy
notice.
Travis digging up bones.
Yeah.
All's right in the world.
Ask the Bench. Y'all have a great day.
Digging up bones.
Digging up bones.
I'm digging up bones.
Digging up bones.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Taylor, have a good trip to you next fall. MMR Group. If you want to ignite your career and join the country's largest privately owned electrical and instrumentation contractor in the entire nation, that's headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, with offices all over the globe. Woo, the boys are hitting it, bruh. You want to join the MMR Group. They have outstanding benefits. They have a dynamic culture. They invest in their employees. Go look at the campus if you need proof of that. What I loved was talking to some of these college interns where they're going all over the world. They're going skiing on their off days. Like, you go on real adventures while setting yourself up for a successful career provide for you and your family. But whether you're in college, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, the MMR Group has a variety of positions available just for you. So apply now at mmrgrp.com. Once again, y'all, that is mmrgrp.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right